here we are. Also, you know, I need to reset my headphones. Hold on. Okay, there we go. Now my headphones are not being super glitchy. What up, Whammy? We got Whammy, Travis, Q, Queen Cheese, David. Needs a plant. Thanks, Caitlin. I don't know why there's a plant, but I'm allergic, so I'm gonna die, apparently. So much screaming. Boots. Well, we're back to Katawa Shoujo. I think I'm having mic problems. Is it? Hold on. I can hear myself. That should be the correct one. How's it sound right now? Sounds fine to you? Cool. Caitlin, stop. Stop. Breathe, Caitlin. The first part of the first scene? I have no idea. I'm just gonna do censor. If it's cool, then sure. I don't know. We'll just swing by the seat of our pants at this point. It's kind of the gist here. But I'm doing a hard cap right as soon as we hit Act 4. We're not going any further. We're not doing anything else. We're just gonna get to Act 4 and then call it. I'm laying down the rules. But yeah, we're just gonna swing by the seat of our pants and see what happens. Yeah, no, I see that. But, meh. Alright, we'll load. I believe we are on definitions. So I turn around to see Emmy making a beeline for me with a gym bag slung over her shoulder. She changed into some decidedly more casual clothing, a pair of shorts and an olive green top. Her running blades have been replaced by more realistic looking legs that probably wouldn't feel anyone. And he doesn't seem to care about that, a fact which makes me smile. Hey, you came! I mean, I figured you would, but still. I suddenly find myself wrapped in a rather affectionate hug, and it proves to be impossible for me to keep what must be the world's largest grin off my face. Right. Well, of course I came. I'd be crazy not to, right? Emmy ponders for a moment. You know, that's true. I mean, I'm pretty amazing after all. I shrug in response. I certainly think so. It's an offhand remark, which is why I'm surprised to see that it seems to have caught Emmy by surprise. What up, Supernova? How's it going? She blushes and smiles warmly at me, but before planting a kiss on my lips. Now it's my turn to be surprised. Emmy steps back, resting her weight on her back heel, looking pleased with herself. My brain fumbles for an appropriate response. Dots. Logical response. I should compliment you more often. Emmy laughs and gives me a playful shove. Jerk. I throw an arm around Emmy's shoulders, and I'm pleased when she immediately leans into me as if it were the most natural thing in the world. So, where to? I'm not actually sure. Where do most people go on dates around here anyway? That's a damned good question. I've got no idea. Why don't we just head down to Aura Mart and grab something portable? Emmy's face brightens at this idea. A picnic! I think you're onto something, Isao. Emmy shakes her arm around my waist, or snakes her arm around my waist, and we begin to head for the front gate. I'm entirely unsure of what I'm meant to do in this situation, but at least Emmy seems to be equally clueless. Have both of these people never been on dates before? Like, I've only seen people on dates, and I'm pretty sure I know what to do. Also, what up, Nautilus? How's it going? Never happens. Gotcha. How are you doing there? Despite the relaxing feelings of being with Emmy, I still can't help feeling a little tense. What if I do something wrong? I'd hate to make an ass out of myself. The trip to Aura Mart is accompanied by Emmy's chatter about how practice went. I keep quiet for the most part, merely enjoying the warmth of being around Emmy. We get a few odd looks from passerby, but I don't mind. We wind up buying some bread and instant noodles, realizing too late that we cannot actually cook the latter in the park. Oh well, I'll make it for lunch or something. That'll work. The park is located after a brief loss of direction that I blame entirely on Emmy. She, of course, blames me. We find a spot beneath the tree and sit down. I lean back against the trunk, and Emmy sits across from me. I guess we should have brought a blanket or something to sit on, huh? Emmy shrugs. I don't mind. Neither do I. Emmy tosses me a package of bread and we dig in. What is this game about? Dating girls with, well, right now we're dating a girl with no legs, so that's pretty much what that is. Curry bread. Interesting. I guess I wasn't really paying attention to what I grabbed in the store. Hey, Sal, you look like your bread's a little spicy. I shake my head, trying in vain to keep an image of manliness. Nah, it's hardly spicy at all. I see. That must be why your face has gotten so red. Yes, exactly. Lack of spice has got my blood up. Because of the disappointment. Yep, it is a weird game, that is for sure. Emmy laughs and swallows the last of her bread. Well, if you can't handle it, I'll be glad to take it off your hands. Hey, just because you wolfed down yours so quickly doesn't mean I'm going to give you mine. What up, Cheese? How's it going? Emmy mock pouts, causing me to nearly choke on my bread with laughter. Aw, come on, Hisao. Aren't you supposed to be concerned with making sure I've got enough to eat now? We're dating, you know. Though... Emmy looks troubled all of a sudden. That's pretty cool pork. See, I hate having eggs in my instant noodles. I can't say I feel any different. What do you mean by that? What makes this a date? It's just what we would have done anyway, really. But it should feel different because before we had lunch we were friends, but now we're a level above friends. You sound like Grin. Laughter escapes and Emmy grins. Well, she might have put the thought into my mind. We've talked about this sort of thing before. Really? About me? Not really, just stuff, really. Grin thinks that the change of the label from friend to girlfriend seems arbitrary most of the time. Like, there's no difference between the two. I mean, I guess. That could be considered. Probably. I can think of at least one, you know. You don't tend to kiss your friends quite as much. For a second time today, Emmy blushes slightly and giggles. Yeah, that would probably be weird. Hey, yo, friend, how's it go? Kiss. And then you just, like, be like, so how's it going? They'll be like, what the fuck did you just do? What the fuck did you just do? Just kiss. And then, you know, probably gonna get slapped or something. I suppose you're right. Exactly, I'm always right about things like this. Emmy rolls her eyes and chuckles. Guess you're pretty smart, huh? I nod in agreement. Yep. Even Muto thinks so. He thinks I should go into some scientific study after graduation. Emmy raises an eyebrow. Oh, really? Yeah, I'm thinking I actually might just do that. Really? The more I consider the idea, the more it appeals to me. I make a mental note to look into it a little more closely. Oh my gosh. Travis, stop. Oh my gosh. Let's live the stream. So what are you thinking about doing after graduation? Still planning on running? Emmy shrugs, seeming almost a bit hesitant. Didn't you want to be a pirate? I don't know. If I'm good enough, I could fight a team, I guess. You mean you aren't sure? I haven't really thought about it, to be honest. Really? You probably should, you know, graduation isn't far off. Emmy fidgets a little nervously. Yeah, well, it's far enough, right? Besides, I've got other things to think about. There's a mischievous flash behind Emmy's eyes, and suddenly find myself gloriously pinned against the tree. Like making sure this is a real date, right? I mean, if we don't kiss, then it's not a date at all, right? Man, this girl loves to kiss. My type of girl. I suppose... Strawberries and curry. Not the best combination, but I don't think I mind. Emmy sits back on my legs and grins at me again. There, signs would approve, right? Get a room? We in a room. There's a bear in the back of the room. I have the oddest mental image of Muto nodding seriously and making a mark on some checklist. I can't help laughing at this idea. Muto just be like, alright, girl with no legs and a guy with a broken heart, literally, making out, science approves, check. Girl with no arms painting with her feet. I mean, check. Deaf and mute girl sassing everybody. Triple check. Like, that's what's going on here. Well, I'll admit, this is the first time I've ever witnessed a kiss being met with laughter. Should I feel offended? So, they kissed. It checks out. No, I'm sure science approves. Amy beams at me and I find it increasingly difficult to keep my brain functioning properly. Oh good! It is at this point I notice that Emmy has stolen the remainder of my curry bread while I was otherwise occupied with images of teachers wielding clipboards. Hey! Emmy tries to look innocent, but considering she's just crammed the last bits of my bread into her mouth, it does not appear to be working. Resist! Thief! A shrug from my companion is all I get in response. You used your feminine wiles on me. I wasn't that hungry anyway, but I still feel that the point needs to be made. Emmy seems confused by the phrase feminine wiles, but the understanding dawns on her features after a moment, though. Thought. Wasn't anything of the sort. You were laughing. Feminine wiles don't involve laughing. I guess I can't argue with this. That doesn't change your thievery. Emmy laughs at my injured tone and gives me a playful shove. Fine, you can have the instant noodles. Are you kidding? That stuff's terrible. If anything, you should definitely eat it as punishment. Another laugh from the girl sitting on my legs, both of which have fallen asleep by now. Man, I hate it when your legs fall asleep. It's the worst feeling. Oh, I twitch one leg to try waking it up, which has unintended effect on unbalancing Emmy, who falls to the side with a startled eep. That was the funniest animation. That was wee brink. Whoops, sorry about that. Legs fell asleep on me. Emmy lands on the ground giggling. I stand up a little shakily, feeling the nerves in my legs return normal. Hey, Xavier, how's it going? Timber. Timber! My eyes wander over the scenery before fixing on the figure of Emmy, who has yet to get up. Her hair displayed out around her head, her arms are spread, and laughter is bubbling up through her mouth. Everything about Emmy seems condensed into this one image. Her energy, her spirit, her childish giggling. The urge to lay down on the grass with her rises swiftly from the back of my mind to the forefront of my thoughts, and indeed I am convinced that I would love nothing more than to do just that. Unfortunately, the sun is set, and it's probably time for us to get back to the dormitories. While Emmy may be happy to stay out here all night, I don't think I have that ability. Besides, homework soon beckons. Hey Justin, how's it going? It wouldn't make sense to start thinking about things like university and slack off, would it? I extend a hand to Emmy to help her up. We should probably get going. Emmy makes a sour face. You're right. She grabs my propped hand and I pull her to my feet into a hug. This time I'm the one who kisses her, unable to resist having Emmy against me. Seems a shame to leave, you know? Yep. Yeah, it does. But if we don't get back to the school soon, we'll probably get in trouble. Emmy pokes me in the ribs playfully. You need to do your homework, I'm sure. Sadly, you're absolutely right. I throw my arms around her shoulders, and we make the trek back to the school, accompanied by occasional bouts of laughter as our conversation jumps from subject to subject. Everything from running to school to the peculiar way that one of the cafeteria workers smells. It's all too soon we find ourselves outside the girls' dormitory building. Well, I guess I'll be going then. I guess so, huh? Emmy grins at me again with that mischievous look. Are you going to be able to survive without me? I laugh. I'm sure I'll manage. How terrible. Aren't you supposed to say something like, I'll be counting the seconds you are away? Nah, I don't think so. My heart is pounding. I'm so nervous right now. Emmy pulls me down into a quick goodbye kiss and steps back, looking unexpectedly shy. Thanks for dinner. I really had fun. Honestly, I did. So did I. I think we shall have to do it again sometime. Emmy laughs at my deadpan delivery and nods. See you bright and early tomorrow morning, right? You've got to run off that bread after all. Of course, despite the fact that you ate most of it. Yes, despite that. See you later, Hisao. It's just, when I play games with stories or like dating sims or something, like, when we're getting to the story, my heart, like, flutters, because dating sims, and it's just cute, and adorableness, and it's just like, I don't know what the scene is that I'm about to see. As Emmy turns to head inside, I notice something weird. Something so weird that I'm surprised I didn't notice it earlier. She's limping slightly, favoring the left leg. Hey, Emmy. Is your leg okay? Emmy looks confused, or at least fakes confusion. What are you talking about? Your right leg, you're limping. There's the briefest flash of concern on Emmy's face. Either she didn't want me to know, or she didn't think I'd notice, or I prefer to think she just didn't realize it. Oh, that. She shrugs casually. Must have gotten knocked a little out of alignment during the picnic. No idea what would have caused that, of course. I think back to being pinned under the tree. Ah, you should have told me. We could have stopped and fixed it, you know. Emmy waves a hand airily. No, it's not that big of a deal. Don't worry about it, okay, Hisao? It's fine. Why do I get the feeling that she's convincing herself as well as me? Shoot, this is a tough one. You know what? I'm gonna press her because I get the feeling that this could be something worrisome. Are you absolutely sure? You don't want to go ahead and adjust it before heading up the stairs? You could get hurt if you don't, right? I said it was fine, Hisao. Seriously, don't worry about it. I got some experience in these matters after all. Yeah, I suppose so. Emmy grins reassuringly. Honestly, Hisao, I appreciate the concern, but I really am okay. Now really, I need to get going. Your attempts to keep me around all doomed to fail. Of course. Just prolonging the goodbye, I suppose. Another grin lights up Emmy's face. Good night, Hisao. Good night. As she limps inside, I find myself hoping she's okay despite her assurances that she's fine. I think I can call this a successful first date. Hell, any day that ends with Emmy pinning me under a tree to kiss me can't be bad, can it? I head back to my room, mentally thank the gods that Kenji doesn't ambush me in the hallway, and get started on my homework. Alright, next chapter. I'm waiting for the chapter to show up, and then I'm gonna be like, no! No! Panic. Oh god. I just want to see. Save. Load. Visible rock. Okay. Sorry, I'm just nervous. The morning is far too early for my taste. It doesn't help that I had trouble sleeping last night. There were simply too many things to think about. My mind refused to slow down. Instead, I replayed the rooftop, the park, and everything else over and over in my mind. And there's a small part of my mind that is still paranoid that this has all been some kind of joke. That I'll meet up with Emmy at the track and she'll act like nothing happened yesterday. Pushing these thoughts to the back of my mind, I throw on my running clothes and open the door. Emmy's waiting for me with her usual smile. You're late! Or at least you're not early today. Are you tired or something? I find myself ruefully rubbing the back of my head. Something like that, yeah. Pull the menu when you open it. Song 2. Oh, you're right. Lots to think about and all that. Emmy giggles at my mild understatement. Yeah, I didn't sleep that well either. I was actually glad you weren't early, because I wasn't early either. I wonder if the same thing kept us awake. The image of her weeping face passes through my mind. Those are track clothes, not underwear. What kept you up? Emmy's expression falters, but she quickly notices my curiosity and forces a smile. Nothing important. She obviously is not telling me something. The question is, should I press the issue? Something's clearly been bothering her for a while. I want to help her, but would it just come off as me being nosy? She's got to know I care about her, though. Are you sure? If something's bothering you, I'm here to help you sort it out. Emmy laughs then, but it's not her usual laugh. There's an edge to it that it seems almost bitter. Sort it out? I'm not sure it can be sorted out, Hisao. An almost grim smile crosses her lips. It's like a smile of resignation. I don't think you can help me anyway. That hurts. I don't want to say that it hurts to her, but it does. Doesn't she realize I want to be there for her when things go wrong? Well, I won't push you on the matter, but I'm here for you if you decide later that you'd like to talk about it. It might help. I can see the debate raging behind Emmy's eyes. It seems like she wants to tell me, but she's not sure whether or not she can. Hey, forget about it for now, okay? We've got running to do. The mention of running, something that she can handle, brings Emmy back to her usual self. Right! Hurry up and stretch out, Hisao. We've got to get moving. She takes off like a shot, far quicker than I'm used to. Still, I try to keep pace with her, recklessly testing my limits. It gives me a feeling of freedom, like my heart is no longer important. I find myself wanting to laugh, filled with the feeling of moving beyond what I once called my boundaries. The nurse's warnings to not overdo things echo in my mind, and I disregard them. This feeling I have, this willingness to risk a heart attack for something so trivial as the morning run, feels out of character for me. But is it? I mean, true, Travis, true. Or rather, should it be? I got a weak heart, sure. It'll never be capable of the kind of speed and endurance Emmy's capable of. Though I probably won't be able to get to that good even if I had a healthy heart. As we round the final bend, I feel my legs screaming in protest, but for the first time I ignore them. I accelerate to finish at a sprint, nearly catching up to Emmy. That was never going to happen, of course. Still, I feel surprisingly good. Oh sure, my legs feel like they're about to catch fire, and I'm having trouble staying upright. But there's been a shift of some sort today. It's all thanks to the girl grinning at the finish line waiting for me. That felt a little faster than usual. My comment is met with a grin and a shrug. Can't have you think I was going to go off soft on you, now can I? But you managed to handle it just fine. Well, I couldn't have done it without you. Still feeling the high from the run and moved by a surge of gratitude, I seize Emmy in a hug. Thanks. Really, I'm not just saying that. I'm in your debt. Emmy seems flustered by my words, squirming uncomfortably. Don't be silly, Hisao. Someone had to haul you out here, didn't they? And it's not like you're not doing anything for me, right? I need a running partner, remember? I shake my head, still pointedly not letting go of Emmy, who stops squirming and merely looks up at me with a quickly deepening blush that almost seems out of character. No, that's not true. You wanted a running partner, but you didn't need one. If I hadn't shown up the day after the festival, you would still run, right? But it doesn't work the other way around. I only managed to make it out a few times before the festival, and without you, I probably wouldn't have made it out at all after that. Emmy smiles at me and prods my chest with one finger. You're pretty lazy, Hisao. Hey, I was giving you a compliment. Well, you're welcome, I guess. I'll pay you back somehow. Oh, well, that's not necessary, you know? I mean, I kinda like you, Hisao. And being able to run with you in the mornings isn't exactly a bad deal for me either, so... Soon, Caitlin, apparently. For someone who gets so much praise, she seems unused to gratitude. I can't think of anything else to say, so we fall silent. I become aware of Emmy's breathing or the dampness of her clothing, and of the scent of her. Coming off of anyone else, I would stink. Coming off of Emmy, it fits her in a way nothing else could. Her skin is cool, slick with sweat, and breeze causes goosebumps to rise. Almost without thinking about it, I lean down and meet Emmy's mouth, which has already moved to meet my own. Her lips are soft, and she hums happily as we kiss, sending vibrations from her mouth to mine. There's a startling rightness to everything after this moment. We fit one another perfectly. The kiss ends, and I finally let my arms drop back to my sides. Emily is smiling warmly at me, and giggles again. Come on, Hisao, we better go see the nurse. Then it happens. As she turns to begin walking, she gives out a tiny yelp and stumbles forward. Emmy! I leap to steady her and notice with some concern that she's favoring the same leg as last night. Your leg. Emmy seems panicked and pushes away from me. It's fine! My expression must seem hurt, because she hastens to apologize. Sorry. Didn't mean to push you like that. I was just... She stumbles for something to say. It's nothing, really. Hey, Sammy, welcome to stream. How's it going? Hey, don't worry about it. She's so flustered I just tried to shrug the whole thing off. But there's a cold feeling in the pit of my stomach now that won't go away. I tried to step in and help her, but she pushed me away. Smiling, I shove those thoughts to the back of my mind and concentrate on Emmy. I just want you to don't want you getting hurt, that's all. You don't have to worry about me, honest. I'm fine. Yes, you say that, but I don't believe you. Why won't you tell me what's wrong? It's like she's getting offended by me trying to help. What am I supposed to make of that? I'm still trying to sort out what happened on the trek as we arrive in front of the nurse's office. Emmy raises her hand to knock, hesitates, and then turns to me, smiling guiltily. Hey, can you do me a favor? Of course. Can you tell the nurse that I'll see him later? I'll just remember that I got some stuff to take care of before class. So I really need to get moving. I peer at her closely and she fidgets under my stare. Yeah, she's clearly just avoiding the nurse. That leg of hers. Well, whatever. I said I'd help, so I will. But I'll make damn sure if she sees the nurse before the day's out. Yeah, okay. I'll let him know. Emmy looks like I've just given her a pony on Christmas. Day's going alright, Sammy. And early birthday is good. Happy early birthday. Happy early birthday, and hope it goes well. Thank you so much. You're the best, Hisao. I am rewarded for my complicity in her lie by a kiss that makes it all worth it, or so I tell myself. As Emmy heads out of the building, trying hard not to let her lip show, I knock on the door of the office. Hisao, come on in. I don't see Emmy with you. She's not sick again, is she? From the tone of his voice, I don't think the nurse is expecting me to say yes, she's ill. She said that she'd forgotten to do something, and so she had to skip out, but she'll see you later today. The nurse heaves an exasperated sigh. Honestly, that girl. She's been avoiding me. Yesterday she was in and out of here without even taking off her prosthetics. Now this. Well, at least it's not just me, what doesn't want worrying. That's a comfort, I guess. Still, I feel like I should say something about her leg. I said I'd lie for her, but she really needs to see him. Now that you mention it, she was limping pretty badly today. And last night as well. The nurse's eyes narrow at the words last night. What exactly were you two doing last night? We were, on a date. The nurse raises his eyebrow as if surprised. Really? Interesting. Huh? Oh, nothing. His gaze turns thoughtful, and then he grins at me. You don't think you could use some of that boyfriend charm to get her to come see me today, could you? Of course. I was planning on doing that anyway. I think she's really hurt and just pretending she isn't. Yes, she does that. Afraid I'll make her stop running. Will you? I don't like to, but if it's bad enough that she's been limping, well, I guess I'll have to see what's wrong for myself before I make that call. I see. Not allowed to run? Perish the thought. I don't know if she'd be able to function without running. No wonder she's reluctant to admit anything's wrong. I'll make sure she sees you. Good. Oh, before I forget. He grins at me again in what feels like a vaguely threatening manner. Don't forget that I know what medications you're on. You be careful around Emmy, got it? Wow, he looks serious too. Got it. Don't hurt Emmy? Wouldn't dream of it. Grand. I'd hate for you to be late. Huh? Late, as in late, Hisao Nikai. He frowns briefly, dissatisfied. Sounded better in my head. Well, at any rate, get out of here before you miss your first class. You got things to do, sir. Shoot! As I leave, I notice the nurse purling out his phone and dialing a number. Miko, your daughter's being a pain in the ass again. I better head back to my room, or I really will be late. Hey, wasn't he supposed to check my heart rate? I'll be fine. Lunch bell sounds, I bring myself out of the stupor I slipped into during the morning classes. My lack of sleep last night, coupled with the increased pace of this morning's run, has left me a little exhausted. Despite that, I find myself skipping stairs up to the roof. There's a thrill of excitement now, in addition to the pleasure one gets from eating lunch with one's friends. Sure, both Emmy and Rin are still my friends, but Emmy has become more than that now. Rin is back in her usual spot on the roof, almost as if she's never been absent. Feeling better, I take it? A raised eyebrow is my reward for speaking. Better than what? Better than you felt yesterday. Rin gives my question some serious thought. I'm not sure. I think I might have felt rather good for some of yesterday, but it's all fuzzy. Too much cold medicine? Well, it was the sleep, and that's usually is pretty good. Good old Rin! Just being Rin. Being our armless, chilled person. That's not the button I want to press. But I can't remember what it feels like to be asleep, because I'm not conscious for it. I can't remember what it feels like to be asleep because I'm not conscious for it. That's a true mood, if I've ever heard it. It's a real problem. Then again, if I knew how good it felt, I might not sleep anymore. But this way I keep trying, so I guess that's how I can keep from being overtired. An eternal mystery to keep you sleeping at night? Maybe mystery is the wrong word. Intangibility might be the proper way to describe it. I see. No, I don't see at all. I have no idea what she's talking about, but that's okay, since I rarely do. Do you remember what sleeping feels like? Like yesterday. Do you remember what you felt like sleeping yesterday? Well, I actually didn't get a lot of sleep yesterday. Maybe that's because you remember subconsciously. True, Queen Cheese, true. Actually, I think I was worrying about Emmy. Doesn't Emmy worry enough about herself? I hadn't considered that, but it gives me pause. True, but would she ask for help if she needed it? Rin frowns and I raise an eyebrow. Will I get a proper answer? Probably not. Is there something she would be asking for help with? Her leg, for starters. This seems to be catch Rin's interest. Leg? It hurts, but she won't see the nurse about it. That's an interesting face. Rin shakes her head in disapproval. You have to make her. Like, she makes me go to class for her own good. Otherwise she could lose her legs again. And that's just too weird. Losing things twice. Especially if you don't find them again, to begin with. Unless prosthetics are the same as finding something. But that's a different kind of lost, isn't it? I think so. I wonder. Wonder what? Emmy seems to have snuck up on Rin and me, though Rin doesn't seem especially surprised, which is itself unsurprising, I suppose. Rin manages to sit herself upright quite expertly, throwing her upper body forward, using her momentum to right herself. Your leg, how's it feel? That earns me a frown and a bit of a glare. It's okay, I think. Not worth worrying about. Tell that to the nurse. He's quite insistent that you visit him, you know. Emmy pouts like I've just told her she's been grounded. He worries too much. It's not a big deal, just a little soreness. I try to resist rolling my eyes in exasperation. If it's nothing, then you should have no problem seeing him, right? Emmy narrows her eyes suspiciously. Did he put you up to this? Well, maybe. A little. But that's not the point. I would have reminded you to see him anyway. It would be terrible to see you really hurt and not do anything about it. That would make it worse. I don't really want to see you hurt, you know. Call me crazy, but I kind of would prefer to see you happy and healthy. With each statement, Emmy's frown fades a little more, until eventually she's grinning a little shyly. Well, if you're going to put it like that way, then I guess I'll have to see him. Otherwise you'll keep worrying and then I'll never hear the end of it, right? That's right, I'll keep bugging you about it, and then it might put a damper on our dates. How's the food, Hisao? Talk to the nurse, Emmy. How's your day, Hisao? Talk to the nurse, Emmy. Hisao, I think I'm ready to go to the... Talk to the nurse, Emmy. See? It doesn't work that well. Emmy giggles at my high-pitched rendition of her own voice and gives me an affectionate shove. My voice isn't that high, jerk. I thought it was pretty accurate. This face. Oh my gosh. Rin. GG. Emmy and I stare at Rin for a while before I burst into laughter. Emmy crosses her arms and huffs, mock offended. You're both jerks. Such vile calumnies from you, young woman. I'm stunned that you would call me, of all people, a jerk. Honestly, I don't know what to think. Emmy sticks her tongue out at me. You ass. So Rin, how's the art club these days? Rin, seemingly as surprised by the sudden change of topic as I am, takes a minute to think about before answering. I believe it is okay. Although Nomiya keeps telling me to work harder. But I don't think he understands my methods. He always struck me as slightly creepy. Rin ponders this statement for a while. I never really noticed. I don't pay much attention to him most days, so maybe that's why. How often do you meet? Thinking of joining, Isao? What? Nah, I've already decided to join a club. Really? Which one? Well, it's not really much of a club, to be honest. Oh, you joined the tea club? No, I joined the science club, I think. Emmy looks highly confused. We have a science club? Not really, it's just me. Isao, that's not a club, that's sitting in your room reading books. No, I mean, it's just me and Muto. I'm just the only student so far. Muto? Really? A thought strikes her. Oh, is that what you were talking about yesterday? Your meeting with Muto? Yeah, that was our first meeting, I guess. Emmy giggles. Nerd. Hey, I can't help being clever. You know, I could have used your help years ago. You should have had a heart attack earlier in life, Isao. That's not a thing you want to tell somebody! Yo, you should have nearly died recently. It's like, no, you don't say that to somebody. I laugh and then realize this is probably one of the very rare times I laughed about my heart attack. Hindsight. Yeah. The ringing of the bell ends our conversation. Guess we better go. Yeah, I guess so. Come on, Rin, you too. Rin has apparently begun to doze off, so Emmy gives her a sharp bump. I almost had it. Sorry, but you need to go to class. I disagree, but maybe if I nap in class, I'll get it in this time. Changing location is sometimes helpful for that kind of thing. Neither Emmy or I bother asking what it is. As we arrive at my classroom, Emmy gives me a quick kiss and heads down the hallway, Rin in tow. I turn to enter the classroom to be met by the duo of Shizune and Misha. Stern dots. Misha seems to be fighting a losing battle to keep from breaking into fits of giggles when she translates Shizune's latest rant. Well, we are pleased and thrilled to see how well you've managed to make new friends and forge relationships with such a cutie too, Hee-chan. I think that last part was probably Misha. Concern dots. We nevertheless feel compelled to politely remind you that public displays of affection are strictly forbidden. Really? That's a important point, Hee-chan. By Section 8 of the Code of Contact laid out in the student handbook. Cocky dots. In this case, however, ignorance of the law may be your excuse, as we're feeling lenient. Happy dots. And the paperwork required to punish both of you would only add to the already mountainous volume of work which confronts us, the sole members of the student council. And besides, you two are adorable together. Content dots. Therefore, consider this a formal warning, and please refrain from such displays in the future, at least when Shizune can see you, Hee-chan. This whole spiel is so particularly ridiculous that I can't help but reply in the same pompous manner. Well, I for one feel enlightened. I apologize profusely for my rash actions, and will strive to contain my baser impulses which, I fear, impel me towards such inappropriate displays of public affection. It is hardly my wish to burden an already overworked student council with so much petty matters, and will do my best to make your lives easier in this manner in the future. At least, when Shizune is watching. This last line is delivered with a wink to Misha, who finally loses control of her laughter. Well said, Hee-chan. Chuckling a little myself, we enter the classroom. Nice. The class is uneventful, and after the final bell rings, I find myself alone with Muto again. So, it looks like we all assembled for the second meeting in the science club. Or is it the first? What do you think? Should we count yesterday as a meeting? Well, we did form the club yesterday, didn't we? That seems like club business, so we can safely call yesterday a meeting. Muto smiles in his usually stilted and awkward way. I wonder if the muscles in his face are just not shaped correctly to let him smile naturally. You really do have a knack for this, I think. Logical thought processes, that is. I guess so. As a scientist speaks with authority, Hisao, the answer here is, yes I do. When the world wants to know how it works, we tell it, even if all we've got is the decent hypothesis. But we must sound certain anyways, because we're the authorities on the subject, right? He chuckles to go along with his awkward smile at his awkward joke. I'm doing my best not to grimace, but I don't think I'm being too successful. That's entirely false, of course. We know a lot, sure, but nobody's an expert on how the world works, if only because nobody can be sure. With no certainty, there are no experts. Would hair be looking like Play-Doh spaghetti coated with water? Whose hair looks like that? But we like to pretend sometimes. There's some things we can be certain of, right? Yes, but no. We know gravity's there, for example. Ah. To illustrate, Muto picks up a pencil and drops it. See? Still there. And it's good to check every once in a while. That's what you'll see me say Richard's mecking about with gravity. We're pretty sure we know how it works, but there's always a chance that something isn't how we think it is. So we check and check and check. That's science in a nutshell, Hisao. The whole time I'm listening feeling rather spellbound, Muto seems to be really passionate about this stuff. I think it's hard to tell sometimes. How the world works, how humans work, how the universe works. All these questions seem to be answered. And depending on what I go into, maybe I can even figure out a way to fix my heart. That said, I don't think that's a real priority for me. Besides, as we start discussing the book you gave me yesterday, I find myself more and more interested in that than my heart condition. Before we even realize it, an hour's gone by. Well, let's call this meeting over for now, okay? Pink Girl, gotcha. We'll have another meeting tomorrow, or the day after that. He considers this for a moment. Call it the day after. I got a lot of grading to do. Okay, see you then. As I exit the classroom, I realize I don't really have anything to do tonight. I mean, I didn't make plans, so I guess I'll go to the library. Beats doing homework in my room anyway. The library always seems cooler than the rest of the building, probably to keep the books from getting damaged by excessive heat and humidity. Books are sturdy objects, but if you want to keep them in good condition, it takes a little effort. I got several books that are so well worn that pages are barely clinging to the spine. It seems impossible for them to still be usable, but if you handle them with care. I make my way to the main desk when I spot Yuko busying herself with something or another. She smiles at me as I enter and waves. Hello, Isao. Good to see you again. What are you looking for this time? Nothing in particular, I guess. I just didn't feel like going back to my room is all. Yuko nods. Well, if you're unoccupied, maybe you can help me look for something. Sure, what do you need? Yuko brings a finger to her lips and looks around furtively. She seems to be looking for eavesdroppers. Come closer. I take a few hesitant steps forward while feeling distinctly unnerved. Yuko lowers her voice to a confidential whisper. I'm on the trail of the Yamaku cat burglar. The what? Shh, the walls have ears, Hisao. Or they might. But listen, those missing books, remember them? Yeah? Well, they weren't missing. They were stolen. I'm convinced of it. I remember you saying something of the sort earlier, but how do you know? Yuko leans in closer and, if possible, whispers even lower. Because I found one of his hiding places. You did what? Yuko looks triumphant. Found one of his stashes. It was under one of the stairwells in the boys' dorm. 3 books I've been looking for. All 3! I suspected a thief before, but this proves it. So did you take back the books? Yuko looks as if I just suggested she walked around naked. Yuko, don't walk around naked! That might be bad. Are you nuts? He can't know if I'm onto him. He might go to ground and evade capture. So what do you need my help with then? Yuko casts another glance around the library and leans in closer. You've got to spy for me. Spy? Yeah, like when you're in the dorms, you know? Keep an eye out for suspicious activity. What constitutes suspicious anyway? I mean, Kenji's a pretty suspicious dude, but I'll wager he barely goes to class, much less sneaks into the library to pilfer books. Still, what's the harm in saying yes? At least it'll get me out of this weird conversation. Yeah, I could do that. No problem. Yuko straightens up and claps excitedly. Great! Now hurry up and talk about something else in case someone else comes in. How's school treating you? Pretty well, actually. I've been running in the mornings with Emi Ibarazaki, right? Yeah. How'd you know? I've served you 2 in tea house, remember? I deduced that if you're going to run with anyone, it'd probably be her. She looks pleased with herself. Impressive. Anyway, yes, we've been running in the mornings. And, we kind of started dating. Yuko clasped her hands together excitedly. Really? That's great! I'll bet you 2 are great together. I love seeing people find one another like that, you know? I even thought to myself when you walked into Shanghai that one time, I wonder if that kid will wind up with one of those girls. Really? Yuko doesn't seem to notice my somewhat weirded out tone and nods affirmatively. Yep, I can tell that you wind up with one of them, you know? I've got an eye for that sort of thing. Of course. Her expression droops slightly. I'm not so good at it myself. Same, Yuko. Same. Aw, I'm sure that's not true. Oh, it's true. I met this guy once. We got along really great, but it turned out he was younger than me. And that was kind of weird, but not terribly so. What was really weird was that he disappeared one day, and I've not seen him since then. Huh, that does seem kind of odd. Doesn't it? I hope it wasn't something I did. I feel compelled to reassure her. I'm sure it wasn't. I tend to try to calm her down further, but the both of us jump in surprise at the ringing suddenly coming from my pocket. Yuko sighs to steady herself as I pull the phone from my pocket. I feel a little sheepish from indirectly causing the incident. Emmy, what's up? Oh, thank God, I haven't called your phone before, so I didn't know if this number would work or whether you would pick up, and I can't. Whoa there, Emmy, slow down. What's wrong? There's a pause on the other side of the line, during which I can hear Emmy trying to control her breathing in order to calm down. Something's gotten her terribly agitated and starting to agitate me. Can you stop by? Like now, or shortly after now? I really need to talk to you. There's a tone of pleading in the last sentence that I don't think I've ever heard from her. Of course, I'll be right there. Hold steady, okay? In my increasingly agitated state, I've apparently started saying things that I don't quite make sense. Okay, I'll be okay. See you soon. I pressed the button to end the call before slipping the phone back into my pocket, apologizing to Yuko for running off and run off. This is foreboding. Perhaps at some point I would have stopped to think about the time or how suspicious it looked for a guy to enter the girls' dorm at this hour. Except right now, I'm just concerned with getting to Emmy and finding out what's wrong and how I can help her. I knock on the door and I'm greeted with a subdued, "Come in." Something is very wrong as I stare at the scene before me. Emmy's there, yes, but she's in a wheelchair, and her legs are missing. I glance around the room and see them sitting in a corner, looking like they've been thrown there. I'm looking for it. Why is she in a wheelchair? Emmy responds to my entrance with a lopsided grin that is both pleased to see me and completely, utterly heartbroken. Hey, Sal. Looks like she's been crying, but if she was, she stopped now. I notice though that I'm a little out of breath, having taken the stairs 2 at a time in order to get here. My heart doesn't seem to mind the strain though. I file this happy fact away for later consideration. Like when I'm not staring somewhat dumbstruck at my girlfriend in a wheelchair. Realizing I've still not responded to her greeting, my brain lurches into gear. Emmy, what happened? Guess I should have listened to you, Hisao. My leg's got a nasty infection. I'm not allowed to run on it for at least a couple of weeks. She gives a bitter laugh that shouldn't be coming from her. I can't even walk on it. I could have used a crutch and kept one of my legs, but I didn't see the point. Why hop? You can't run on one leg. At least this way I can still, I don't know, roll fast or something. Yo, rolling around at the speed of sound. Emmy has places to go and follows the rainbow, with Hisao rolling her like a monkey roll. Anyway, yeah, that's good, right? My awkward attempt to look on the bright side seems appreciative, but not really effective. Emmy shrugs again. It's just kind of a nuisance. I mean, we can't even eat on the roof now. No wheelchair access. Yeah, but that's not a big deal, right? I mean, we can still eat together, and that's the important thing. That lopsided grin again. It hurts to look at. I suppose so, yeah. But like I said, it's a nuisance. I mean, I haven't really used a wheelchair in... She thinks for a minute. Maybe 7 years? Something like that, anyway. A long time. I'm afraid I'm a bit out of practice. Well, fortunately, it's only temporary, right? Emmy nods. Oh yeah, of course. It's not like I've lost him permanently. But it's a pain in the ass all the same. I nod sympathetically. There's not much else I could do, after all. What am I gonna say? I told you so? Although I did tell her to get that leg looked at. But by the time I noticed, it was too late anyway. Do you need help with anything? That is, can I help with anything? Emmy shakes her head and there's a bit of her usual grin back. Nah, I can manage fine by myself. Although if you want to help me over to my bed, it would save me the trouble of rolling over there myself. I blush in spite of myself. Emmy giggles. You're such a prude, Hisao. Oh my gosh, geez. No, we're not hitting her with the thing. I'm not a prude. I just wouldn't want to take advantage of a young woman such as yourself. It's ungentlemanly. I wheel Emmy's chair to her bed and easily scoop her up and deposit her there. She quickly sorts herself out and sits on the side. She's actually a little heavier than she looks. It would be rude of me to observe this out loud, of course. It's rude of you to think that, Hisao. Fuck you. Hey, Lauren Simmons, welcome to the stream. It's pretty good. True. How's it going? Man, you're kind of heavy. What? Why'd you say it? Why would you say that out loud? You never tell a girl that she's fat or like bulky or something like that. That I even know that. Emmy hits me with a pillow. Ass. Just saying is all. Must be all that running. At the mention of running, Emmy's grin falters slightly. Well, I guess I won't have to worry about that for a bit, huh? Maybe I'll lose some weight. That's what you do to lose weight, right? Cease physical activity? I play video games. I'm pretty sure that's what the nurse would recommend. Speaking of which, are you still going to be showing up in the mornings? I hate to run a... Ah, shit. Emmy's sudden interjection, more of a disquieted muttering than anything too profane, caused me to look over in shock. She's leaning forward, trying to cover the fact that she's crying by covering her eyes with a hand. Of course, the subdued sobbing makes it pretty obvious that she's crying. Hey, I'm sorry. Forget I said anything, okay? I place a hand gingerly around her and pull her close. I can think of nothing else to say or do. How do you comfort someone who's just lost their legs again? Emmy wraps me in a hug and stays that way for a while. Sorry. I'm pretty bad at this whole comforting thing, I guess. Don't say that. I'm fine, really. Her voice is slightly muffled by my chest. I pat her head reassuringly. That's the spirit, right? You get through this, fine, I know it. Besides, I'm here to help you, remember? Emi lifts her head and stares at me with tear-stained eyes. Can you really? She's grinning lopsidedly and something sparkles in her gaze. I can't tell if I'm being mocked or not. Of course, I mean, sure, you're a bit heavy at... My witty comment is cut off by a sudden press of Emi's lips on mine. I'm caught off guard and I'm rewarded by hitting my head on the wall behind her bed. Ow. Emi pulls back, trying to look concerned rather than like she's about to laugh. Are you okay? Sorry. I rubbed my head ruefully and grinned back at her. Caught me off guard there. Okay. Is that going to become a habit? Am I going to be lectured by Shizune and Misha more? At the mention of the duo, Emi giggles. Honestly, those two... If I didn't know why, I'd be utterly confused as to why she hangs around with someone so bossy. Which one are we talking about? You know exactly which one he's out. Misha's hardly bossy. Dummy thick. The most dummy thick with the 10,000 C's. Anyway, that's the thickest of the thick. That's so thick that the whole entire earth would be under ass. That would be interesting. So what's the reason then? Huh? The reason why Misha hangs around Shizune? Emi waves my question off with a smile. No idea. I see. Anyway, you seem to be forgetting the original question, don't you? Oh yeah, I guess I am. You wouldn't mind giving a guy a little warning, would you? Otherwise I'm liable to wind up with a concussion. I emphasize the point by rubbing the back of my head. Emi giggles madly. You could wear a helmet. Some kids here do, you know. Or I could just take revenge. I grab a pillow from beside me and whack Emi over the head. Emi topples off the bed and lands on the floor with a thump. Her arms promptly reappear on the bed and she manages to pull herself back up. She really has a surprising amount of strength in that little body. Her face is turned downwards and away from mine, making me think I might have accidentally hurt her. Emi, you okay? You didn't hit your... A hand shoots up and grabs my collar. She pulls me in with a sharp tug, her face now barely an inch away from mine as she grins cheekily. Emi? She gives me a sharp headbutt, our foreheads making quite a loud thud. Blech. I sit back and rub my now sore head as Emi smirks victoriously. How's that for revenge? No fair. You can't take revenge for revenge. For someone... Apparently, I need to put cat up now. I've been told that the cat has to come up right now. For someone missing most of her legs, Emi's surprisingly agile. I swipe at her, but she definitely rolls out of the way and lands a hit with her pillow. Of course, the odds are against her. I can stand up for starters. Oof! Hold on. Okay, so this scene's not that bad. She's still clothed. So, we good. We good. No, we can't. This one I can remove the cat for. Okay, I see. Guess I can't after all. Emi seems to have effectively tripped me up and is now sitting primly astride me as I lay on my back. I'm not even sure how she managed it. I win! Her eyes twinkle mischievously, and I've been thoroughly defeated, and by a girl that's a fraction of my size at that. Then again, being defeated doesn't seem quite so bad. Emi being positioned over my waist isn't something that I, or my body, can ignore easily. I open my lips to speak, but Emi's head darts downwards before I can get so much as a word out. I give no resistance as she presses her mouth to mine. Not that I want to. This is different, somehow. She pulls back, nips at my lower lip, and reinitiates the embrace. Her tongue darts inside my mouth, exploring. I can feel a warmth spreading through my body as my heart begins to beat faster. This is getting intense. Yeah, I know, Travis. I see the sheet. I have the sheet pulled up. My mind starts to go foggy, and I become vaguely aware of my hand traveling up Emi's blouse. Emi gasps as I reach abreast. Then there's a giggle, and then... I stare up at grooming Emi. Told you, that makes my second win now. What? That doesn't count. Use feminine wiles. All's fair in love and war, right? Haha, and you're even blushing. I didn't know you were a blusher, Hisao. You're blushing too, you know, probably because of your prudish ways. Even I got to admit this is a stupid thing to say to a woman who is currently straddling me and has been, up until a few seconds ago, playing tonsil hockey with me. A prude, am I? Well then, let's see who blushes first, shall we? Cat's going up. Cat's going up. I don't know what I'm about to see. I'm sorry that you guys cannot see this because apparently it's NSFW. So let me... Cat is up. Cat is up. My heart's pounding. I'm not sure whether the tone of her voice terrifies or arouses me, but that question is quickly made rather moot. tits have been shown. There are tits currently on the screen. She's not wearing a shirt anymore. She's she's still wearing underwear. Underwear is still there. But I'm doing double seconds. Remove the cat? No. I can't. Otherwise, this is gonna get in so much trouble. So we can't do it. We can't do it. Yeah. In a motion of practiced ease, she peels her blouse off and tosses it carelessly aside. Her bra and skirt quickly follow it onto the floor. Look through my glasses. You guys can see it through my glasses? No. Ha! I fight the urge to blush. It's a rather hard task. I'm also not wearing a shirt anymore. I'm gonna put my glasses away. I'm now super scared to make sure you guys don't see anything. Escalation, isn't it? She is moaning. It switched. She is moaning now. She is riding on my dick. Oh my gosh. My own shirt follows suit, albeit with some difficulty thanks to my position. I mean, mock yawns. You have to try harder than that. Ah! My hands gently caress Emmy's bare skin, causing her to shiver. It would seem that my hands are acting on their own again. If her position had let me, I'd probably have finished her undressing for her. She's not. Hi, Oxy. Welcome to the stream. There is sex going on behind this cat. This cat is there is things happening, but you know, dating sims. You know, we made it to third base. Yo, we made it to third base, everybody. Let's go. I start to say something about how Emmy's starting to blush, but both of us are very rapidly reaching the edges of something very barely holding us back. Conversation grinds to a halt, and I feel my arms losing energy. Dude, are you? That's not your junk. That's something else. Something else. That's. Listen, man. There's things going crazy. This game's gone crazy. Neither of us, however, is prepared for the sudden new sensation. Oh, she's blushing hardcore now. She's blushing hardcore. An indiscernible heart surges through me. Or heat surges through me, coming from both myself and it seems Emmy as well. She's doing the O face right now. Oh my gosh. With one hand on my chest to steady herself and another holding mine to make sure that I can't have my way with her body again, she looks quite pleased with herself. Well, there, you get... Fine, I'll take off my glasses. Fine. Every time I'll do a scene, I'll just be blind. And then after a moment hesitation, she moves. And she moves again. And again. And she moves. Emmy's breath hitches. My breathing is starting to come faster and more raggedly as well. Emmy's body shivers and shudders against mine, and I can feel her starting to lose her balance. It must be harder for her to keep steady because she's missing her legs. As far as the bust department, I mean... it's hardly there. She's not endowed, I will say. I steady her as best as I can, cupping my hands around her backside. It's firm and taut. Makes sense, considering how much she runs. The potential power in those muscles makes them flex as she responds to my touch. Literally, we touched her butt, and she flexed so hard. She's super thick, just flex! Ugh! Anyway. What I failed to take into account is the fact that my attempt to steady Emmy kind of slides her forward, and, well, it feels amazing. Oh, Oh, her panties slide easily against my trousers, and it doesn't take us long to figure out a rhythm. But Emmy refuses to keep to it, going now fast, now slow, now pausing for what feels like an eternity. I'm not sure whether she's doing this to toy with me, or if it's to make her feel better, but I'm well past caring. The heat between us is growing more intense, but I can't hold back a gasp. The noise only seems to be to drive Emmy along. I begin to punctuate her movements with some of my own, which causes her modest breasts to bounce in time with my movements. Her breath begins to come faster as we continue, my own breathing becoming equally quick. What am I playing? What am I playing? This is the farthest I've gotten with any girl in my life, and it's Emmy, who has no legs and is in a video game. My life is sad. My life is so sad. They're 18 to 19. With her eyes closed, her lips purse expectantly, I just managed to lift myself up for a few moments, our mouths seeking one another, her chest sliding against mine as her sweat mingles. As I flop back down, my trousers are soaked with sweat. I would take them off if it didn't mean stopping what we're doing. Oh, we're dry humping. And I don't want to stop what we're doing. Stop the screwing pressure, this tickling in the back of my brain. Emmy's sliding faster and faster, panting heavily, her voice seemingly unable to convey what she's feeling. Her body, on the other hand, is doing a fine job. Suddenly, she moves a little more erratically as her own breath hitches in my throat, ending in my final desperate thrust that sends me over the edge and into a surging feeling I didn't know existed. Is this the first time he's... Yeah, she's doing a no face right now. I'm just gonna let you guys know that. She's like... And, I'm pretty sure he just jizzed his pants. And jizz in my pants. Don't tell me that it was my fault you were touching my butt. That one. My mind blanks, filled with white noise. And I succumb to the feeling of climax. For a few seconds, everything else in the world falls away except for that amazing feeling of Emmy and I together. And then it passes, the white noise clears, and I'm left staring up in the eyes of the girl atop me. For a few minutes, neither of us speaks. The sound of our breathing fills the room, our chests heaving from the experience. She eventually reluctantly shifts off of me and sits against the wall. I join her. Oh my gosh, her sprites also show boobs. Well then. So, do I blush? I didn't notice. Did I? Emmy shrugged, still breathing a little heavily. Didn't notice either. Well, maybe we should... Oh, this is the worst. Oh, God. Oh, God. This is a worst nightmare for anybody. Is somebody walking in to sex and Rin just walked in to us fucking. I need to use your window. My first instinct is to hide, but then I realize I'm still utterly exhausted, and I'm standing next to a topless Emmy, so there's no running away. Rin's eyes pass over Emmy and me and focus on the window. She's not paying any attention. This is... Hi, Sparky. Welcome to the stream. You missed everything. There was a cloud. A cloud? Rin nods. I was watching it from my window, but it didn't stay in my window. She doesn't care. Yo, you two just fucked, but this cloud in the window? Okay, hands. So I need to use your window. Emmy shifts a little, causing me to cough in order to cover up a giggle of my own. How long do you need the window for? We're busy. This time I can't contain my laughter. Welcome back, Cheese Lord. Rin ignores both Emmy and me and peers out the window. Her shoulders slump and she looks disappointed. It changed into something else. Disappointing. Emmy is having trouble keeping a straight face. Sorry to hear that, Rin. Can we have a little privacy now, please? Rin shrugs as if to say, can you? And hooks her foot around the door, pulling it closed behind her. Rin just casually walked out. Rin just casually walked out. We both dissolve into raucous laughter, unable to deal with Rin's bizarrely timed visit any other way. After our laughter dies down, I look into Emmy. We're both a total mess. Well, Emmy raises an eyebrow. Well? Again? Emmy grins and laughs, and then she nods. We should probably ditch the clothes this time. Just... We did the sex! We have done the sex and now we are taking off our clothes! Oh, thank God, we're at the day transition. We're at the day transition. Cat is gone. The game is back up. Okay. Okay. I'm just... Alright. Whew. We did it. We're no longer a virgin. We did it. Your gayness needs to come down again. Just enjoying that. Nope. Me. Well, you guys didn't see anything, so... Gosh, this sucks. trying to clean off these glasses, and it's not really working out too well. Also, these glasses make everything a little bit yellow, which is not really good. Alright, so when's the next one? Oh, still is going on. By the way, what does it say? Should probably ditch the clothes this time. The sun that breaks through my window shortly before my alarm ruins the morning silence. I feel sore. No shit you feel sore, you just fucked, dude. The events of the previous evening suddenly intruded upon my consciousness, and I found myself blushing. This was an eventful evening, and it explains perfectly the soreness in my lower back. The walk back, as I recall, has been rather tense. My trousers have been soiled. I had washed them off in the bathroom before going back to my room. But there was still a fairly obviously looking stain on the front. Fortunately for me, the only person I ran into back on my way back was Kenji. And he didn't notice a thing, kinda cause he's blind. Well, apart from my being in the general vicinity. Of course, he'd asked how the night went, and whether or not I'd learned anything of the importance. I don't even know if I opened my mouth to answer. I was too tired to care. And this morning, I'd admit I'm feeling pretty worn out. Still, Emmy had promised to meet me at the track, and I'd hate to disappoint. She's indeed waiting for me when I arrive. Doing her best to look cheery, despite the fact that she's sitting in a wheelchair. I wave to her and begin stretching. You're early. Emmy frowns and shakes her head. Ridiculous! You're late! Overslept, Hisao? All tuckered out? Well, at least she seems more like her old self. And as expected, she doesn't seem that shy about mentioning our previous activities. Hey, you're lucky I could show up at all. All this cardiovascular activity last night, I nearly thought I'd see the nurse afterwards. Emmy laughs out loud, then her face suddenly becomes concerned. Hey, that's not a... I mean, you're not... Go on, spit it out. It's just that it would be hard to explain if you had an episode while we were... Oh, now she mentioned it, it really is a legitimate concern. I certainly hadn't thought of it last night, of course. Other more pressing concerns had been at hand, such as Emmy's boobs in our hands. But, well, I don't think if anything we do is going to be more of a strain than these morning runs, and I handle those fine, so... Emmy considers the point. A devious light appears in her eyes. What is this face? What is this face? Don't worry, that's why we have Censor Cat, Sparky. Nothing's going on. Say. The light vanishes and Emmy grins ruefully at me. I can't help but feel vaguely suspicious. I seem to have forgotten a pair of gloves. What do you need gloves for? Emmy indicates the chair upon which she is seated. For this, of course. Chair regular moving around is all well and good without them, but I want to be able to get a good workout. Okay. And to get that kind of speed, you gotta have gloves if you don't want blisters. So what, are you wussing out on me then? Do I have to go it alone? Emmy thinks for a minute, or pretends to think. If I remember right, there's a spare pair or two in the track shed. Oh gosh, Travis. So she does seriously want to do it then. But in a normal school uniform, I'd have expected her to wear a gym outfit for something like this. Wait, what are they doing there? Emmy looks askance at me. Seriously? You can't think of why a shed full of track supplies at a school for the disabled would have racing gloves? Well, when she puts it that way, I suppose that makes perfect sense. I know, I checked, Travis, I checked. Hey, I'm still getting used to this place. Give me a break, huh? I guess I can let it slide this time. Now come on, I need your help. I can't imagine what for, but then again, I don't have a clue why racing gloves would be in a shed, so I'm not willing to press the issue. Emmy navigates her way to the shed easily enough, though I can hear her grumbling under her breath. It's actually kinda cute. I hurry a little to reach the door first. Opening it would be easier for me than her. The door opens and Emmy starts to wheel inside, only to come to a sudden halt at the doorway. Well, we're not going to get to the other one. The next one you said is Act 4, and we're only getting through Act 3 today. Sorry, I didn't. It seems the door sill is slightly too high for her to get over by herself. She makes a few runs at it unsuccessfully before crossing her eyes and glaring at the offending object. Stupid wheelchair! Hisao, can you give me a hand here? Sure, no problem. It's simple enough matter for me to bump Emmy over the doorway, jostling her slightly. Hey, easy there! Whoops, sorry. Sorry, I didn't mean to, is that what I'm looking for. It's about this time where I fail to notice where I'm going and run Emmy's chair into a mat. She gives a startled yelp and toppers forward out of her chair. There's a moment of silence as I gaze in horror upon what I've done, and Emmy glares at me. Hisao? Yes? Promise you'll never work at a hospital. Sorry, I didn't mean to. Don't worry, we're just doing both. I'm hiding it and cat. Just for safety's sake. Emmy giggles and holds up a hand. Would you kindly help me back into my chair, Hisao? As I bend down to pick up Emmy, she grins in triumph and pulls me into a kiss that quickly has us both entirely unconcerned about getting her back into the chair. In fact, as I move to a more comfortable position, I confess that the chair is pushed out the door, which, startled by the passage, swings shut. She took off her clothes again. Her clothes are gone. She's naked. She is naked. Hi, Cassie. Viewer discretion is advised. We have a cat. Well, at least we got some privacy now, which is good things as my hands work quickly to remove Emmy's blouse and skirt. I'm startled to discover that she's forgotten to put her bra on today. Did she plan this? She totally planned this, dude. She wants the D. She wants the D. She wants it. Why don't you do it? You guys are dating, but I feel like, I don't know. For those who are dating somebody, this feels like this is going by really quick. I feel like it's not healthy. We should probably be waiting a few weeks before we get to this point. I don't know. Maybe kids just do... Kids? Teens? No. Adults do this fast? My brain is like... Kids these days. No. Bad. No. Her arms look under mine and rest on my shoulders as I kiss my way down Emmy's neck, pausing to give special attention to a spot right where the neck meets the shoulder that I found last night. Okay, boomer. I'm a boomer. Don't worry. You've gotten pretty good at the... I do try. Emmy pushes on my chest. Insistently, I draw back with a puzzled expression. I've got a confession, he sow. Oh? Having pulled back, I decided instead to focus my attention on her breasts. Well, I mean, she's naked. As she attempts to speak, her words are interspersed by giggles that I find incredibly cute. I don't actually won't wear gloves. My own reply is rather mumbled onto her chest instead of being addressed to her face. Should have known. Words quickly become irrelevant. Emmy's movements are almost frantic, as if she's been holding something back since we met this morning, and now she has an outlet. By the way, was it? Okay, so that makes sense. Okay. I really need to call off guard by her aggressiveness, feeling her nearly rip my shirt off, the way she seems defied to be in a dominant position. For my part, I confess that I'm caught up with her attitude as well, fighting back, rolling and wrestling even as I caress her breasts, even as her fingers dig into my shoulders, and I lose track of where we are. So much is so that I roll right off the mat and land onto something small and rather hard. Ow! Emmy, still flushed and breathing a little heavily, peers at me and bursts into laughter. Alright, she's still wearing panties though, so we're good there. I'm sorry, are you alright? Yeah, I think so. Not sure what I landed on, though. I reach under my back and pull the offending object out, inspecting it closely. I don't know why my glasses on. Don't want anybody to try the reflection look. Personal lubricant, lemon flavored. Lemon flavored lube. Ooh, hi, Baba. Hi. Wait, what? Emmy's eyes shoot upwards and she begins, if possible, to laugh even harder. Somehow, I don't think this isn't track related. Oh man, I know who this is. What? It's the track captains. Oh, my old nemesis, or kind of. How'd you know it's his? It appears that I've asked a stupid question, or at least Emmy thinks so. Because he's the one who told me the track shed was a good place for, what did he call them? Clandestine encounters. This is a normal thing? I have a story to talk about after we get through Nyani Cam. Oh, he invite you onto one or something? Emmy bursts into more laughter. I confess the sight of naked Emmy laughing is oddly beautiful. I feel an eagerness to end the conversation and get back to what we are doing, despite my rather pointed questioning. He saw the track captain's gay. Huh. Really? And here I initially thought you two were a couple. Well, I did have a crush on him when I first joined up, but he wasn't interested. Hi, Punny, how's it going? Yeah, no, they're fucking. They're fucking. Obviously. But we are good friends, I guess. I mean, he told me all about this, you know. I hesitate to ask. I really do, but I ask anyway. But what does he, need the lube for anyway? I mean, he doesn't... How the hell does Emmy always manage to not blush? Obviously, he uses it for, you know... Oh no! She's given the dubious grin. She's naked. Her tits are right there, and all she said is
anal.
That's it. This is a child-friendly channel, YouTube. No, it's not. No, it's not. Welcome to the kit party, where apparently sex. I don't know. I tried to suppress a snicker. I fail. Now there's images of how. Anyway. Oh my gosh, I fail. Emmy's giggling too. And he tells you about all this? Emmy shrugs. Yeah, of course. He's kind of wild about this whole thing. Says it's a feeling that can't be beat. Uh-huh. The air in the track shed seems to change with some kind of horrible curiosity. That's interesting. So if you guys want to see this, get the game, which is free on Katawa Shoujo. I should have probably posted the... Hold on. Let me link it to the description. Hold on. There. Yeah, no, I posted it. It's in the description now. Well, so don't worry, Baba. You don't need to hear anything. You don't need to hear anything. There are naked things happening that people are fucking. It's no. I suppose I have to take his word for it. Well, birds outside stop chirping. The wind dies down. Somewhere, a man is drinking a cup of coffee. He freezes with the cup at his lips. We could, maybe, try it. Don't worry, Putty. I have a better idea for how censorship cat would work. Because Nyani actually exists in somebody else's mode, I'm pretty sure, but still. My jaw suddenly and spontaneously unhinges and hits the floor. What? Emmy is finally blushing, rubbing the back of her head ruefully. Well, it's just that we can't do what we did last night, you know? It would be wouldn't be safe, you know? I mean, it wasn't exactly a great idea last night. So, you know, we could try this to see if, is as good? Well, yeah, basically. Huh. Describe in detail. Mega, what are you doing? No, you walked in on people fucking. What are you doing? That was... To describe what is on my screen right now, Emmy is bent over. We are definitely naked inside of her. We are doing anal. She's smiling. We're sweating. There's a hockey stick behind me, and there's a lot of basketballs. And the cones look slightly phallic. Careful! Are you sure about this? I'm positioned behind Emmy, who is looking back over her shoulder, looking a little flushed. I know, Travis, but I'm in shock. Let me be in shock. Bye, Baba. Take it easy. Bye, Mega. Sorry for scarring you for life. Obviously, once we decided to go ahead with this idea, we had to get back into the mood. That accomplished, we emptied the bottle of lube, and here we are. Yes, I'm sure. Come on, before I calm down, think too much about this. Emmy's breathing is still coming a little heavily, and her response is almost impatient. Which is to be expected, I suppose. We were both so close, and this is kind of delaying things. I think we're both gone temporarily insane. At least that's going to be my claim from here on out. Yeah, Baba, just go. I'm a terrible person. I'm the worst streamer. I'm sorry, everybody. I'm a shithead. I try hard not to think about the specifics of what I'm about to get myself into. There's no way this is going to be very clean. Dude, you're shoving your dick in her pooper. Oh my gosh. Oh, they're making the faces. They're making the... And the faces. They're making the faces. Oh, it's bad. Oh, the pooper. Oh, the pooper. Woo. Woo. I'm a shitty person. Oh, why am I doing this? Why am I doing this? It's just, oh, faces. It's bad. Taking a breath that is as much for me as it is for her, I enter slowly. There's a lot of resistance, and it's like both of our bodies are reluctant to actually go through with it. now Hisao's face is like, and Emi's like she's shocked. She's Emi's whole body tenses as I'm only partially in by this point. It feels surprisingly good, if a bit odd. Emi, on the other hand, looks uncomfortable. Yeah. The expression is almost comical. Now we're sweating again. Should I stop? Emi's breath hitches in her throat. It seems to take a few seconds longer than it should to formulate a reply. No, keep going. It just feels weird. Okay, now she's happy. She's smiling. Will do, Sparky. She giggles. I can't blame her. I'm surprised I even managed to form a sentence. No worries, buddy. No worries. Oh, I'm sorry, everybody. It's hot. Feels exceedingly odd. The lube glistens unnaturally. Makes me uncomfortable. I continue to work my way inside her, working slowly and listening carefully to Emi's breathing. I reach my limit and pause. Emi looks back again, biting her lower lip. Are you gonna try moving, or are we just gonna sit here feeling silly? Wait! So this entire time they're just connected? They're human centipeding? Is that the thing? They're stuck together? Man, sex seems weird, guys. I don't know about this thing. No, I just wanted to give you a chance to adjust. This doesn't make any sense. How did we even decide to do this? I don't think there's really any adjusting to this, Hisao. Try moving. Maybe it'll feel better? She sounds doubtful, but certainly unwilling to admit defeat now that we've come so far. Oh. Never mind then. I begin to slow motion that seems to work well for both myself and Emi, as she closes her eyes in an attempt to concentrate on this new feeling. As I begin to find a rhythm, I begin to feel the familiar falling away sensation I got yesterday. I close my eyes and try to lose myself in the feeling, except it doesn't seem right. Emi's not making any noise. I learned very quickly yesterday that Emi is somewhat less than quiet when she's enjoying herself. As I open my eyes, I see that Emi's trying to get into things, but just doesn't seem to be working for her. Her eyes are closed and she's biting her lip, but it seems to be out of toleration rather than enjoyment. A sort of, well, this was a failure, but hopefully it'll be over soon look. I'm caught in a bit of a situation here. In truth, I don't want to stop, but at the same time, it doesn't seem to be doing much for Emi, or if it is, it's coming on far slower than I am. Well, dang. I feel bad, and I want Emi to enjoy this too. I reach one arm around to tease at Emi's chest, which startles her. Now we're massaging her breast. This in turn causes her to tighten around me considerably, causing a wave of pleasure to blindside me. My gasp seems to amuse Emi, but her grin quickly turns to a gasp as I move my other hand casually down her front and begin to stroke gently at her soft patch of hair between her legs. Now we're groping her cat. Her cat is being massaged right now. We're massaging her cat. The motion of my own hips increases as my hands' ministrations to Emi's front begin bringing back the gasps and yelps that I'm used to. I concentrate only on the feelings of my hands, one now slick and sliding, the other on skin soft and responsive, goosebumps on her flesh, shivers and sweats, as her own building climax causes her to tighten, until finally I can't possibly... Oh god, I'm so sorry, I'm going to... I give a final thrust, my fingers tense around Emi's nipples, dive between her legs. We just exploded. We have exploded. Emi's back spasms and she arches up, a high girlish cry that echoes off the walls, and I feel a wave of my own climax annihilate all other sensations in my body. Emi's arms give out as she falls forward, rather violently disengaging us and pulling something dear to me in the process. The sudden switch from pleasure to pain caused me to lose my balance, and I fall forward on top of Emi. Ow! Ow. I quickly roll off Emi and prop myself up, breathing heavily and trying to ignore the pain in my crotch. Emi yelps a little as she rolls over. She grabs a couple of tissues we kept handy earlier and cleans up before getting her panties back on and awkwardly leaning against a wall. Still breathing heavily, I decide to sit against the wall next to her, the feeling of the cool concrete against my back sweating back in a welcome sensation. That hurt at the end. Yeah, this was probably not a great idea. Emmy squirms in order to try and sit down beside me with too much pain. Judging by her wincing, it doesn't really work. Yeah, I'm gonna have words with the captain. He was clearly lying. The utter and absolute ridiculousness of the situation suddenly hits and I begin laughing. Emmy shakes her head and begins laughing at me. Or with me. Hey, Hisao. Yeah? We're never doing this again, right? Yeah, I think my curiosity is satisfied on this one. Emmy nods, satisfied. Good. I think we should maybe stick to the basics, don't you? I mean, most of this is new to me anyway. What do you mean, most? Emmy grins impishly. I'll never tell. An unpleasant thought strikes me. Even more unpleasant is the thought of having to ask Emmy about it. Still, after what we've just done, it should be a cakewalk. Hey, is there a sink? I'd kind of like to wash off a little. Emmy jaw drops. In the sink? Well, there's not really anything else to do with, is there? And I want to avoid a smell that the nurses might notice. This is the most awkward conversation I have ever had. You're right. Yeah, it's on the back wall. There might be some soap, too. Thanks. There was, in fact, a little hand soap, which is better than nothing. No towel, though. Guess I'll just have to drip dry. All finished? Yeah, that'll do for now. It's not like I'm going to take a shower after we see the nurse. Glad to hear it. Now help me find my clothes. You tossed them somewhere. Hey, you were no better. How am I supposed to explain the hole in my shirt? Hey, sorry, I got a little excited earlier. It takes some time, but we're finally both more or less clothed. There's a frantic moment where neither of us know where Emmy's wheelchair is, but I recall her going through the door and rescue it. Alright, we're back. We're back. We're back to being clothed. I need to like wash my glasses. My glasses are like super dusty now because I'm putting them down. I blame you guys. Kind of want to see what I'm reading. But there's like so much dust and particles on my glasses, so this is what it is. There we go. I should be able to see now. Need a sheeple? I need a sheeple. I'm holding out for a sheeple. There's your sheeple. Now, be more careful going through the door this time, won't you? Bumps are not my friend right now. I'm so sorry we tried this. Emmy shrugs and grins. Well, it was worth a shot, right? And anyways, it was good exercise, right? Can't argue that. As we make our way up to the nurse's office, I notice that Emmy keeps shifting uncomfortably in her seat. God, this feels weird. Good thing I'm in a wheelchair, Hisao. Why's that? Because now I don't have to explain to the nurse why I'm walking funny. Oh, we're never doing this again. The nurse is at least kind enough to not comment on the marks that Emmy left on my shoulders. Nor does he say a word about Emmy's constant shifting around in her wheelchair. Even if he didn't notice, or didn't want to notice. All the same, I'm going to have to make sure he didn't slip cyanide into my medication for a little while. Just to be safe. I shower for longer than usual just to be sure I'm clean of our little experiment, and then collapse on my bed. Class is in 20 minutes, so I can probably afford a nap. We're gonna miss class. We're missing class. Knock knock. Who's there? Knock knock. That's not how the joke goes at all. Knock knock. I already said who's there! More importantly, what time is it? Even more importantly, what day? I'm suddenly catapulted into wakefulness by both the fact that the knocking still hasn't stopped and the fact that it's noon. On a school day. Now fully awake, I can remember why I was napping. Better not give that excuse to Muto. Sorry I wasn't in class, I was experimenting sexually with my girlfriend and it tired me out. Yeah, that'll go over well. I wonder how long this knocking is going to continue. Guess I ought to answer the door. I'm strangely unsurprised to see Kenji on the other side. Though it appears that Kenji is surprised to see me. What the hell are you doing here, man? Well, I was sleeping. Kenji nods in understanding. Knocked out, I see. I told you to be careful around that Ibarasaki chick, man. This is the sort of thing that happens when you aren't cautious. He makes an attempt to look at the back of my head. Did she hit you with something? Or is it a drug? Stop trying to touch me. Kenji produces a flashlight and shines it in my eyes. Got a concussion? I wasn't knocked out. Maybe you just don't remember. This conversation isn't going anywhere. No, I just had a tiring morning and fell asleep.
Whatever, man. If you want to be in denial about this, I guess I can't stop you. But you gotta watch out for that girl, man. She's not safe.
What?
She's not safe to be around. She's one of the most sinister agents. If you're not careful, there's no telling what could happen. And she's brought down stronger men than you know.
What the hell are you talking about? She's not an agent or anything, and she did knock me out, okay? I'm also highly doubt that she brought down anyone at all. Kenji looks almost offended. I have no idea why.
You don't believe me? That's cold, man. Real cold. I'm just trying to look out for you. That's what friends do, you know?
We're friends? I had no idea. Then again, I wonder if Kenji knows what being a friend even entails. I feel something like pity for him, standing there before me. Maybe he does think he was looking out for me. I know. I'm sorry about that. Thanks for the warning. I hold up my hand as a sign of peace. Kenji shakes it gingerly, like my hand could possibly be on fire. There's an awkward silence for a few seconds before Kenji remembers that he's still shaking my hand.
Anyway, I need a favor.
What kind of favor? I'm out of money.
No, you aren't. You got money kept in your desk drawer under the black notebook for emergencies.
Did you ransack my room?
That's not important. I don't need money anyway.
He adopts a very serious tone.
I'm about to undertake a major op. It'll blow the whole conspiracy wide open if I'm right. But it's dangerous, so I need you to do something for me in case I don't come back.
Sure, man. Anything. What the hell is he planning on doing? Should I be telling someone about this?
If I got missing, wait 3 days and then mail my journal off to the newspapers. It's hidden in my room under a false bottom in one of my desk drawers.
How do I get into your room? I don't have a key. Kenji looks at me like I'm crazy.
So pick the lock. You know how to do that, right? It's an important skill to learn at a young age.
Yeah. Of course I know how. I'll be sure to, do that for you. If you go missing. I don't think I want to read Kenji's journal. Either way, Kenji seems pretty happy that I've agreed to do this thing for him.
Great, man, great. I'll see you around. I got stuff to do.
He's gone, dashing down the hallway. He made it seem so final. I hope I don't have to carry out his final wishes. Shaking my head, I closed the door and walked back to my bed. Guess I should go to class, if only to catch the last half of the day. But I've come this far without going to class today, and I did want to read more of that Hawking book Muto lent me. I'm sure he'll understand. Knock knock. This time the noise jerks my attention away from my book. An experience not unlike being woken up. Who's there?
Me, aren't you glad?
The voice is muffled through the door, but unmistakably Emmy's. I hop up and open the door, smiling broadly. Hey, nice to see you again. Nope, punny, probably not. Emmy grins back, staring at me from her wheelchair.
Yeah, you would have seen me earlier, but the damned elevator wasn't working. Had to wait for them to fix it.
You'd think they'd keep it in better order, but no. I chuckle a bit at her vexed expression and invite her in. She wheels in easily, and with my help, she hops onto my bed. There, much more comfortable than that stupid chair. A sigh of contentment hangs in the air, and for a minute, we both just stare at one another. It's at that point that I notice the circles under Emmy's eyes. They're not that dark, but they definitely weren't there before. Before I can ask about them, Emmy fixes me with a mischievous stare.
So, I couldn't help but notice you weren't at lunch today. In fact, I don't think I saw you at all.
True, Lawrence. Very true. Also, since I could actually see people's profile pictures now, because this is a small game and such, Lauren, is your profile picture a Grookey with a gun? That looks hilarious. Don't worry, there's no more sex scenes. We're good. For this stream, at least. What happened, Fell asleep. I actually didn't wake up until lunch, and only then because Kenji woke me up. What had you so tired, Strenuous workout this morning. Slightly uncomfortable, too. Emmy coughs a half-laughing, half-embarrassed noise. Remind me not to do that again. No problem. Wasn't exactly great for me either, to be honest. We'll just avoid that from now on. Are you, still sore? Emmy stares at me in disbelief. What? It's a legitimate question. Of all the questions I never thought I'd be asked, that's one of them. Well, I didn't ever expect to have to ask it, so we're even. Emmy laughs at this. I guess so, huh? Well, since you asked, yes, I'm still a little sore. Well, never doing that again. No arguments from here. A yawn escapes her and I raise an eyebrow. Tired? Emmy nods sleepily. Haven't slept well. Not sleeping well. I can tell that she doesn't mean to tell me this either, because she gives a little start, like she's just been caught lying, and hastens to add. It's not a big deal, though. What's the trouble? Emmy shrugs and refuses to elaborate. Stressed over exams? Another shrug, but after a pause, Emmy nods hesitantly. Yeah, I guess. Actually, that's why I stopped by. She begins to look more and more miserable. Not so you notice, so of course, but her eyes are on her lap. She's fidgeting and her voice is quiet. We need to stop hanging out so much. Huh? Why? Emmy takes a deep breath like she's been practicing this. Because you're too much fun to be around. Hey, AV, how's it going? Long time no see, dude. How have you been? No, we didn't. We just saw the sex scenes, except I couldn't show them on YouTube, so we had a cat show up. But other than that, no, we witnessed them. I described them in excruciating detail, my dude. But how have you been, dude? It's been forever and a day. Where the hell did my... There it is. How have you been, man? I feel like it's been like ages. I pop in to lurk in your Pokemon streams every now and again, but... sometimes there's a particular star there, so yeah. The cat hid the cat. Yep, it did. Yeah. So we got him. I'm smart about things. But nice to see you again, AV. Can't concentrate when you're near me. With exams coming up soon, I just can't have that distraction. Otherwise my grades will be pretty lousy, I'm afraid. I could help you study. She smiles at me, clearly unhappy with the situation. So I'm taking any time for streaming? Yeah, I gotcha. That's the same thing with work, but I still make do with what I can do. So, yeah, I've been doing pretty good. Playing games, been chilling. I haven't talked to you, Brando. I've talked to Ray recently. Star, I'm pretty sure, still hates me. But I thought I made amends, but eh. Who else? And Luke. I haven't seen Luke in a while. So, hope you guys have all been doing good, though. It's good to hear that you guys have been doing good. She smiles at me, clearly unhappy with the situation. I'd love it if you could, but we wouldn't actually study, would we? I mean, even now, I'm trying to have a conversation with you, but I kind of want to, not converse. Overwhelmed by our rugged manliness, I understand. That earns me a grin, at least. Emmy shakes her head. Idiot, you're full of yourself. Well, I'm pretty irresistible. More or less, I guess. So that's the situation, Hisao. I have too much fun around you, and if I'm going to get to exams prepared, I need to be alone. Hey, that's okay. It really seems to have been bothering her. Besides, it's only a couple of weeks, and we'll still see each other in the mornings and at lunch. We can just hang out at school, no problem. And after exams, we'll go on a date to celebrate them being over, okay? Emmy grins, pleased by this proposal. Yeah, sure, that sounds great. As if to signal the end of the conversation, she leans in and kisses me. The rest of the night is not spent worrying about exams. Yeah, I figured. I figured as much, AV. It's weird how easily, I can keep from seeing one another after class now. Actually, I'd venture to say that it's vaguely disturbing. As easily as we come together, we seem to have split apart without much trouble. Well, I guess that's not exactly true. We've both been pretty bummed after that last night together, and we get to see each other every morning for our runs, and just our runs, I might add. Lunch, too. I especially enjoy our lunchtime with her. We have plenty of time to talk about everything outside of school, whereas the morning runs have become increasingly businesslike. I think it's because Emmy wants to make up for our foolery in the storage shed. But no matter how much we joke at lunch, I just can't help feeling a little worried about her. She seems distracted more often, and I caught her fidgeting nervously more than once. Never figured her to be someone who cared that deeply about exams, but they certainly seem to be taking their toll, even though they haven't even started. This is just the run-up and the deep breath before the plunge. Tomorrow, the real trials begin. Or the real exams, anyway. As for me, I actually don't feel that worried about exams at all. I'm not sure why. They're pretty important. My scores here will determine my odds of getting into a good university. Hell, if I'm too cavalier now, it could spell doom for my academic career. But going into them, I feel confident that I'll come out the other side okay. So, sounds good, AV. Nice seeing you again. Hope to see you again around here soon. And when you start streaming again, I'll probably pop in and lurk a little bit. But take it easy, AV. Take it easy. Muto thinks I've got the science examination locked up at any rate. Or as he says, the last thing that should give you trouble is my exam, Hisao. It's way beneath your talents. Then again, it is Muto who's telling me this. Yeah, no, I've noticed. AV, you were the one person who I'm pretty sure told me Hanako is the person, but I started with Emmy because I like Emmy. She's a cinnamon roll. His praise of me carries the veiled implication that anything less than perfect for me would be a disappointment, which has actually caused me to fret more than I should about the exam. It's for that reason that I find myself in the library after class, poring over the textbook. Pretty simple things to look over, some formulas of velocity, a few bits about friction, a walk in the park compared to my dreaded English exam, never was good with languages. As I flip through my notes one more time, my mind begins to wander. After these exams are over, things should get easier. Soon we'll be graduated, then off to college, hopefully. I remember my abortive attempt to find out what Emmy's plans to do after high school. She avoided the subject pretty deftly, as I recall. Heck, it seems that just about every time I push too hard, she dances around the subject, or distracts me through other means. Like a few days ago at lunch when Rin wasn't around. I've done it! I'm startled from my reverie by Yuko's triumphant shout. Gah! Yuko seems mortified at my stunned staring. Oh my god! I'm so sorry, I really wasn't, it's just that... As she stutters, I move to quickly calm her down before she gets too agitated. Whoa, hey. My words seem ineffective. Yuko continues to work herself into a complete frenzy. And it's a library and it shouldn't be. Easy there, just calm down. I'm setting a bad example and I'm getting fired because I can't do anything right. Yuko! Shouting seems to work, though I draw the ire of several other students studying in the library. Oh my gosh. You guys are crazy. Yuko snaps to attention, like a soldier who's just heard the captain bark an order. Sorry. Calm down, it's okay. You just startled me a little. That's only because I was daydreaming instead of studying. So really, you got me back on task. This is a complete lie, but it seems to work. Yuko takes a deep breath and seems to calm down a little, though she keeps shifting around with a nervous energy that seems awfully familiar. So what's got you excited anyway? The Yamaku cat burglar. To her credit, Yuko manages to convey her intense excitement in a whisper. I think I know who it is. I got an anonymous tip as to their identity, so I did some spying and I think the tipster was right. Oh, really? Who was the burglar? Yuko shuts her mouth, shaking her head decisively. Nope, I can't tell you that. Why not? It's between me and the burglar. I can't risk you warning him that I'm on to his game. He can tip his hand early and blow the torch. Then I'm left with no perp. When did Yuko start talking like a hard-boiled detective? I wouldn't warn them, why would I care? If you got to ask that question, then you don't need to know. That doesn't make any sense, but okay. Congratulations, I guess? Thanks! What for? The, cat burglar thing? Yuko nods and smiles appreciatively. So, studying for exams? Well, that was the plan. I'm not having much luck, though. Really? Is it because you can't find a book? I'm really sorry. I've been meaning to clean the shelves up for weeks now, but I keep getting distracted. I'm so sorry. Well, wait. It's not that. I've got my book right here. To illustrate the point and hopefully calm Yuko down, I show her the textbook in front of me. My mind just keeps wandering, is all. Is it because of the noise in here? I'm trying to be more strict about the noise levels, but I can't bring myself to yell at people. I mean, aren't their lives hard enough without me throwing my authority around? No, it's not the noise level either, I promise. I'm just... hell, I don't know. Worried about Emmy? Worried about us? Worried about what happens after we graduate? Emmy's been kind of weird lately. What do you mean? Well, you know how we're dating now? I just don't know that we actually, a couple. Or at least I don't know that we're beyond friends. Though friends normally don't do the sort of things we do. Very true. Physically, we're a couple. Coupling, at least. It's like every time I try to find out more about her, about what she wants to do with her life, she dodges the question. Like the other day, I was talking to her at lunch about some schools I've been looking into. And I asked her, have you looked into any schools lately? And she shrugs in response, says no, and when I ask why not, she says that she doesn't think that far ahead. I ask her why she has that policy, and she suddenly realized what I'm about to start describing and wisely decide to clam up. She what? Or she changed the subject. Wouldn't talk about it. Hey, it's an uncomfortable subject for her, or she just doesn't think it needs explaining. Yeah, but it's not just that. Every time I try to find out what she's been bothering her, she changes the subject too. It's like she likes being with me, but not getting close to me. Not that I've said it out loud, I feel worse. Yuko just digests this bit of information. You know, it seems to me that you're more serious about this than she is. I can almost feel my stomach twist into a knot. She's right. That's exactly what it seems like. But is that really what's going on? I mean... Sorry, I'm just talking nonsense. You shouldn't take my advice, you barely know me. I'm just a librarian, I'm single, so you can imagine I can't know what I'm talking about. She really does not have any confidence. No, I think you have a point. As much as it hurts to even consider it. Oh, Sparky wanted to know. Hold on. I'll just... Doggo is barking in the background. There we go. Be right back. No worries, bunny. Yuko seems to try desperately to find a way to soften the blow somewhat. Alright, look. I'm probably wrong, but if you want to be sure of how obviously wrong I am, maybe you should just talk with her. Get some time alone and just ask about it. And don't let her change the subject either. Yeah, maybe I should do that. Maybe I should just enjoy what I have. We have fun hanging out after all, and the runs are nice, the other activities are nice, talking to her is nice. Do I really need to get closer to her? What I've got right now is pretty good. That's silly. I want to get closer to her. I want to be able to help her out with whatever is bothering her. But maybe I should just wait until after exams are over. Maybe she'll brighten up once the stress is past. If she does, then I don't need to worry about it anymore. But if she doesn't, well, I'll cross that bridge when I come to it. I thank Yuko for her advice and head back to my room. Maybe I'll be able to concentrate more on my studies in there. More days. Travis, do you have a time frame of how far I am? Curious. I've also just checked and apparently supper is about to be waiting. I leave the room after finishing my final exam and breathe a sigh of relief. As I'd hoped, the exams weren't so bad. I managed to breeze through just about everything but the English final, and even that was acceptable. I wonder how Emmy did. Even more so, how she's doing. She looked terrible at lunch today. Hey, Cheese Lord. I mean, she was pretty happy to be out of her wheelchair, but she was so exhausted. Okay, gotcha, Travis. Hey, welcome back, Sparky. Something's been wearing her down, and I'm starting to really doubt that it was just the exams. Should I confront her about this, though? My musing is interrupted by a tap on the shoulder. Hey, Hisao. Got a minute? No, I really don't. I have other things I gotta worry about, Muto. Actually, I got something I need to do. Yeah? Oh well. I wanted to give some feedback on the science club from you, but we can't do that later, I guess. Enjoy your break, you hear? Thanks, I will. I really love to chat with Muto, but I've got other things on my mind. Specifically, what to do about Emmy. Can I really just confront her? The question keeps spinning in my head even after I've made it back into my room. What if she gets angry about it? Besides, what if it's nothing? If I go in and refuse to leave until she tells me what's wrong or something, won't that come off as clingy? I don't want to start a fight or anything over something like this. Maybe I should just drop the matter and see how she is tomorrow before I do anything. Would it be so bad just to let her go? It's not like we don't enjoy each other's company, but as it sounds, I really want to help her. I don't even know what with or if there's anything at all she needs help for. Welcome back, buddy. But I want to. Suddenly, a knock on my door rouses me. I open it to see Kenji. Oh, it's you.
It's me, that's it. If you had any idea what I've been through, what I've done, you'd be happy to see me, dude. I mean, that was some epic you may never see me again shit. And here you just acting like I went down to the store for some milk. You're a cold man, Hisao. I really respect that.
Thanks, I guess.
It's smart to play it safe, you know. Don't show any emotion. Keep your cards close to your chest. Unless it's time to show your cards, or you have bad cards. Then you should fold or collect your winnings. Do you understand?
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. I take it mission went well?
Well, awfully nosy of you, isn't it? You can't just go saying things like that. Things are a delicate stage. One wrong move and bam, the invasion succeeds.
I thought you were going to blow the conspiracy wide open.
It's bigger than I thought. I need to update my charts. And probably change some of my puppets around. I want to help. I got some whiskey from somewhere. You can fill me in on everything your investigation has turned up.
Better not. I was supposed to meet her today. Gotta go do that. Can't raise suspicion. Kenji nods in approval.
Still keeping it close to the chest, eh? Okay, man, I respect that. Good luck.
Thanks. I'm just going to pretend for the sake of my own sanity that he's wishing me luck in talking to Emmy. And if I squint, that whole card analogy he was talking about works here. Time to lay it all on the table. Or see if I can get Emmy to do so, rather. With a sense of something approaching purpose, I head to Emmy's room. I hop up the stairs leading to her room and knock on her door. Who's there? Huh, that's odd. Her voice sounds a little choked. Hey, it's me. I thought I'd stop by. Hisao? Come on in! I reach down to the door, only to find that it's locked. More and more curious. Your door's locked. Oh yeah, sorry, give me a minute. In a few minutes, Emmy opens the door, grinning. Sorry, I had to put my legs on. I was napping. Despite her grin, there's something definitely off. Emmy's eyes are slightly red, and it looks like she's been crying. Hey, no problem. Are you okay? Huh? Yeah, I'm fine. It's just that you look like you've been crying. Oh yeah, Hisao, you're off to a great start on this one. What? No, I'm fine. I'm just happy to see you. Aw, she punctuates this with a long kiss that continues as the door slams shut behind us. I know what she wants me to do now, and I'm also painfully aware of how badly I want to do it too, but I break the kiss with a wrench of self-control that nearly kills me. Hey, wait. Emmy's eyes crinkle in confusion. Huh? Wait for what? We need to talk. Is that supposed to be my line? And never a good thing to say. She's got a point. It's usually the lead into a breakup, or the prelude to a fight. Maybe it can be a good thing this time. Or that's the hope, anyway. Uh-huh. Can we at least go onto the bed? It's my first day back on these things, and I'm still readjusting. Plus, the nurse said I should try to be on them less often, since running puts such a strain on them. Can't argue with that. It's a trap, we both know it, but we both don't care. Then again, if it's awfully hard to get angry while in bed with the object of for your affection, so maybe there's that motivation too. I set Emmy's legs by the bedside and sit down next to her, throwing an arm around her shoulders. In silence, we just enjoy being able to be in this position again for a few minutes. Then, of course, I need to ruin it by opening my mouth. Look, I know that you've been having kind of a rough time of it lately. And I want to help you out. And I thought it was just exams getting to you, but now I come to your room and you've been crying and that kills me. But I can't do anything if you won't talk to me about it. I told you I'm fine. No, you weren't. It's obviously something's eating at you. You can tell me, you know. There's the slightest increase in tension in Emmy's voice. Why is me saying I'm fine not good enough? You're concerned, I get that. That's cool. But I'm fine. It's nothing that you need to worry about. Not sleeping and spacing out more than Rin doesn't strike me as being fine. I want to help. Uh-huh. Yeah, I don't like seeing you like this. This music, though! I want you to be happy, you know. I get the feeling that came out wrong because Emily fixes me with an icy stare. So you want me to fix me, Hisao? She's definitely getting angry now. Want to swoop in on your white charger and save the day? Stop the nightmares, the phantom limb pains? Restore what's lost? Her voice catches in her throat and the tears start to flow. Well, you can't. Nobody can. Nobody will. I'm so stunned by her sudden verbal assault that I remain quiet. Neither of us says anything for a while. I'm surprised that Emmy tightens her grip on me rather than pushing me away. After a deep breath, she starts talking again. Look, I'm sorry. There's these nightmares. About the accident. Ah, the accident. I should have known. It took her legs after all, but it never comes up, of course. And I usually deal with them fine because I can run. Running clears my head like nothing else. I don't have to worry about anything while I'm running. I just concentrate on breathing and on the rhythm of things. It's easier that way. Life's easier that way. Just keep moving forward, you know? Nothing else matters. Just getting around the next curve. And that's the next curve, and the next, and the next, until I can't go anymore, or think anymore, or do anything but slow down and walk until I catch my breath again. After something like that, nothing else matters. But I've been stuck in that goddamn wheelchair for too long, so no outlet. Today just kind of boiled over a little. You could have talked to me about it, you know? You didn't have to go it alone. Emmy smiles sadly like she's trying to explain to a child that all fire burns. Yeah, I did, and I do. But why? Why do you have to keep going through this alone? Why can't you just trust me enough to let me help you? That smile again. Emmy leans in and kisses me on my cheek, an almost motherly gesture. She leaves her mouth close to my ear and she confesses this one thing to me. Because, Hisao, I've already had everything I knew ripped away from me once. I don't know what I'd do if it happened again. She pauses as if uncertain as to whether or not she should continue. She just confessed true love to us, essentially. I could feel a violent churning in my gut. Hey, Civil, how's it going? Welcome. She continues. So I can't rely on you, or the nurse, or anyone else. Just me. That's how it's got to be. Having delivered the short speech, she looks down and covers her mouth with the back of her hand. The conversation is clearly over. I search for something to say, but can't think of anything. Maybe I should go, for now. I've got stuff. Emmy doesn't even look up. She sounds tired or relieved. I can't tell which. Okay, Hisao. Go take care of that stuff. I'll see you tomorrow. First fight. I get off the bed and head for the door, pausing at the doorway. Hey, Emmy? Yeah? 1,000 things I want to say. I'm too mixed up to say any of them, though. After her admitting that she'll never let me close, I feel like my world's just been ripped out of me. What happened in that accident? I know she lost her legs, but that never seemed to bother her. What happened there? What scares a girl so badly that she won't accept help even from someone she loves? I don't know, but I want to know. I want to know so badly that being denied that answer feels like a knife in my guts. Hisao? You were saying? I'm still standing in the doorway. Nothing. Never mind. And I'm closing the door. I'm walking down the hallway. Down the stairs. Out the door. Into the dark. Somehow I wander back into my own room. My brains are doing a mile a minute, going nowhere fast. Punny, that's rude. No, we don't do that. I can't figure out how to deal with this. I thought that moving forward was a good thing. Dwelling less on the past that I can't change. Living in the present, looking at the future. After this thing with Emmy, I'm not sure anymore. She was saying the truth. It's simpler to look at the next curve, ignoring the path going by. No worry about the opponent left behind. No care for the spectators on the sidelines. And unfortunately, no time to watch out for lacking teammates either. I throw myself down on the bed, looking at one corner of my ceiling as if the answers I want were written there. No such luck, of course. She's literally running away from something, but have I not been doing the same thing, trying my best to forget about my hospitalization? I am getting better, but my health isn't going to magically fix itself. Emmy has 2 legs instead of a heart to deal with, but those aren't going to magically fix themselves either. Maybe this was just as fixed as the both of us can get. The room becomes darker and darker until I can't really tell I'm looking at the corner anymore. The morning comes too soon on the heels of the sleepless night. Is this how Emmy's been spending her nights? Staring at the wall or ceiling, trying to stop thinking about whatever it is? Her, in my case. That clenched feeling in my gut is still there. I can't rely on you. Words spoken so casually. Almost like she were teasing me or chastising me for suggesting that the earth is flat. That's how it's gotta be. The way it's got to be sucks. I'm feeling so miserable that I very nearly decided to skip the run. That would be stupid though. It's not something I should do just to see her. Sure, that was the original reason, but something more now. I've started to enjoy the running itself. There are worse ways to get the blood flowing anyway. Never thought I'd say after the first week or so, but I feel a lot better after a run, like no matter what else I do today, I've at least done that one thing. Also, welcome back, Whammy. It wakes me up too, and Emmy yourself said that running always clears her mind. Maybe I'll help clear mine. I hope so. The morning is cool and clear, if a bit humid. Summer's making itself known, it seems. Emmy's already stretching out when I arrive and greets me with a smile and a wave. Hey, Sal! The sight of her so chipper is like a kick in the nuts. How could she be so happy after yesterday? I give a half wave and I'm surprised to receive a hug. Hey, about last night. Here it comes. I wanted to say thanks. I actually managed to get some sleep for the first time in a while, and I think it's because of our talk. So thanks. How could she sleep better after our chat? She basically told me she wouldn't get any closer to me. And that let her sleep well? Excuse me, but what the hell? Emmy either doesn't notice my bafflement or chooses not to notice. No telling with her anymore. Oh, no problem. Glad it helped. The venom that threatens to dip into my voice is controlled for now. I think I'd better start running now before I do anything stupid. Emmy seems equally willing to get started, and before long we're darting around the track. I can tell she feels more relaxed. Her running has gone back to the more graceful movements I remember from when I first watched her. It's a stark contrast to the almost brutal way she's been hurling herself around the track these past few days. Our talk really does seem to have helped her. A pity it couldn't help me. I get into the rhythm of the running, thinking back to when I couldn't afford thinking about anything else but keeping my breathing steady and legs moving. Guess those days are gone, at least for the first couple laps. Annoyed at the lack of success I'm having with clearing my head, I increase the pace. Ah, there's the burning sensation in my legs. The breaths come ragged in my chest, the pounding of my heart, which I still need to be careful about. But it does seem to have gotten stronger. I can feel it pumping blood through my veins. The sound thrums in my ears, but instead of being panicked as I was that day in the snow, I'm instead filled with elation. Yes, it's working. My heart, the fatal flaw that landed me here, has improved. I'm able to keep going now, and maybe one day I'll be able to stop worrying as much. Right now, it doesn't matter that I have no idea what to do about Emmy and me. All that matters is that my arms and legs continue to pump in concert with one another. Nothing else. As I hit the final stretch, I remind myself that running really does help, though not as much as I'd hoped. I do feel better, and as I walk a few laps to cool down, I begin to remember last night in a slightly less emotional manner. Emmy wants me to stay distant from her. I can't bring myself to do so. There's gotta be a way around this, some kind of middle ground I can reach. Not sure what that middle ground is, though. Damn, I was also almost feeling optimistic. Nice run, Hisao, you really improved. Nice run. That's all I can hope for now, isn't it? Congratulations, Hisao. You're pathetic. I gotta change my attitude. Well, you know, I am pretty awesome, and yet I just keep saying things that I don't mean. Any second now, I'll be as good at hiding my problems as Emmy is. I like to think so. Why did she do this to me? Say something like that with such real affection in her voice that it makes my heart leap. She doesn't mean it. She can't. I must be doing a worse job than I thought because Emmy peers closely at me. Hey, you feeling okay? Maybe we should get to the nurse, huh? Yeah, I'd hate to keel over on you. Emmy looks a little shocked at my bitter tone. Don't say things like that. You've already done it once before, you know. Why does she act so affectionate? She doesn't really care. I thought she made that clear. But despite all of that, I find myself apologizing, even though I shouldn't have to. Even though she's probably just putting on an act. Sorry. Come on, let's see the nurse. I can't get myself to calm down the whole time. Every time I feel like I've gotten over what happened last night, Emmy does something or says something that shows affection, and I'm back to the beginning. The image of her ending that conversation haunts me. It was like the final twist of the knife that's left me feeling bereft of any hope that Emmy and I could be more than what we are. And what are we at this point? Little more than friends who happen to fuck? And really, it's not like I don't enjoy the time I spend with her. Said so the other day myself. I very nearly didn't even bring anything up to her. Was just gonna hop on in there and let it ride, wasn't I? Are we fuck buddies now, or are we a couple? This is sad. With this running through my head, I find myself in front of the nurse's office, still brooding as he checks out Emmy. Emmy comes bounding out of the door, gives me a kiss, and darts off to the shower, I assume. Meanwhile, the nurse beckons me into his office to give me the ritual once-over. Any problems today? Nah, I even pushed it a little harder today than I have in the past. I seem to be able to handle it. That's uncharacteristically risky coming from you, Hisao. You've been hanging out with Emmy too much. She's rubbed off on you, and not necessarily in a good way. With the mention of Emmy's name, I can't help but frown unhappily in spite of my efforts at control. Well now, this is new, don't you think? Last I checked, the usual response to Emmy's name was a grin, not a frown. What exactly happened between you two? Because Emmy doesn't seem to be in on it, whatever it is. She looked more relaxed than I've seen in her weeks, which is unusual for this time of year. What do you mean by that? By what? For this time of year, I keep trying to find out what's been bothering her, but she clams up as soon as I broach the subject. Then last night she said, let me guess, she won't tell you because she said she can't trust you. And now you're crushed because you thought that the two of you were so much more than she seems to think, right? Yeah, more or less. How the heck did you know?
Hey Sal, I'm the nurse. It's my job to know these things. Plus, I've known Emmy for long enough to know that she's trying to do something like this. It's just like her. He says this in a sort of half-affectionate, half-frustrated tone that would seem more appropriate if he had a cigarette dangling from his lips. As it is, he seems willing to make do with a pen. I open my mouth to respond, but a knocking sound at the door interrupts me. Hey, you guys still in there? Just a moment, Emmy. Give us a second to get our pants back on. The door bursts open and Emmy glares knives at the nurse. Asshole! Didn't mean to get your hopes up. Hey, can we leave me out of this? Anyway, what's up, Emmy? Forget something? I try to make a more cheerful tone with her. No need to upset her. Two could play the everything's fine game. Actually, I forgot to ask you something. Oh, what's that? Do you want to come with me on a trip to my house? Our mom's making dinner. I thought you might want to join us. Well, of course I accept. Emmy punches the nurse in the arm playfully. Not you, idiot. You were over last week. I was talking to Hisao. Oh, how interesting. Meeting the parent. I'd love to go, Emmy. Thanks. The nurse raises an eyebrow, but says nothing. Great, I'll be in my room. Swing by after you shower and change into something clean, and we'll grab the bus. Sounds good. I'll see you in a bit. This time it's me who leans in for a quick kiss before darting off to my room. What an interesting development. Maybe we're getting closer after all. Maybe Emmy's finally ready to open up a little. Or maybe she's just being polite, and a free meal seems like a good way to apologize for last night. Great, now I can't decide whether to be excited, nervous, or depressed. Hisao was thinking like how I would in this situation. I'm upset now. I settle for a combination of all three and hop in the shower. Don't grab the bus, it's heavy. Try to lift the bus. Ah! And then like the heart attack happens. There's a bus. I don't think I like riding on buses. Actually, I think I'm pretty comfortable saying that as a fact. They sway a lot and they smell funny, and you can feel every bump in the road. I'm really not looking forward to this. Plus, Emmy's legs keep making a clanking noise that draws the attention of everyone else in the bus. She's in shorts again. She's got long socks drawn up on her prosthetics so they don't look so obviously false again. But that doesn't stop the odd look or two every time her legs bump together with an audible clunk. I shift nervously in my seat and Emmy raises an eyebrow questioningly. She doesn't seem to mind the stares, either that or she doesn't even notice that people are staring. I'm sure she's gotten her fill on odd looks before. After a certain amount of time, I doubt she'd notice anymore. But not that she'd ever tell me if I asked. Another fact is, I'm not just uncomfortable at the bus. I can't seem to come to terms with the fact that Emmy appears to be trying to bring me closer while at the same time pushing me away. Meeting the parents is a big deal, right? Not that I haven't already met Emmy's mother, but that was just an acquaintance. And now it's going to be as Emmy's boyfriend, with everything that it implies. I can feel my heart pounding in my chest, an echo of the snow-covered afternoon that feels like it was so long ago that it might as well be another life entirely. Except then, I didn't know what was going on. I also didn't have medication to help prevent things spiraling out of control. I've come a long way in terms of my physical health, and for the second time today, I feel like I've been able to live normally now, or at least as normally as possible. Now, if only I can manage my relationship as well as I've managed my heart, I'd be in great shape. Gosh. My nose. Garfield carts? I've heard about Garfield carts. I've heard how glitchy and terrible it is. So maybe. If there's achievements, maybe. Well, we're here. Emmy grabs my hand as soon as we stepped off the bus. She starts heading down the street almost immediately. Come on, we've got a couple of blocks until my place. What? Okay. I follow Emmy down the street, watching her confident stride. She's setting kind of a quick pace for just a walk. I guess she's anxious to get there. So does your mom do this sort of thing often? No, not too frankly. Mom's never been much for playing hostess. Oh yeah? Yeah, my dad was always the one pushing her to have people over. The sudden unprompted reference to her father catches me off guard. And from the look on Emmy's face, I'm not sure she meant to mention him. I think I've only ever heard her talk about him once. All I remember is that Emmy's mom told me that he wasn't around anymore. Yeah, we should probably figure out by this point that he died in that car accident, buddy. We should probably figure that out. You'd think that Hisao would figure that out, but... not the smartest tool in the shed. Oh, your mom prefers solitude? Emmy laughs, either from relief that I didn't ask about her father or from finding my statement actually funny. Not at all. She's why I'm such an outgoing person, you know. She just prefers to be a guest rather than a hostess. It's less stressful than a way, or so she says. Clearly, she's never had to meet her girlfriend's mother for dinner. Emmy giggles again, speaking in a teasing tone. Nervous, Hisao? You shouldn't be, you know. It's not that big of a deal. Just dinner at my house, that's all. Yeah, but have you ever brought home a boyfriend before?
I confess that part of me dreads hearing the answer to this. I know very little of Emi's past relationships. I don't even know if there were past relationships.
No, I guess I haven't. Hey, maybe this really is kind of a big deal after all.
Oh good, now I feel twice as nervous. Though to tell the truth, I'm pretty happy to hear that I'm the first one. Maybe we've got something special after all. Bolstered by this new thought, I managed to calm down considerably by the time Emi knocks on her front door.
Hey Mom, open up, we're here!
The door swings open and Mrs. Ibarasaki is standing grinning at her daughter. The grin is so surprisingly similar to Emi's. I'm never going to get used to that.
You know, people normally wait a few minutes before they start shouting at the door. And most mothers say hello to their daughters instead of scolding them right away. Ah, of course. Welcome, Howard dear. I missed you.
An affectionate hug later, we're inside, and it's only then that Emi's mom seems to remember that I'm actually here.
Ah, hello to you too, Hisao. How are you?
I'm quite well, thank you. Nice to not have school to worry about for a little bit.
Ah, yes, you finished up your exams, haven't you? That must be quite a relief for you both.
There's certainly a weight off of my mind, that's for sure.
Mine too. I think I've slept well for the first time in weeks last night from relief alone.
If this news is a surprise to Emi's mother, she doesn't show it. Still, her response betrays a note of interest.
Is that so? I'm very glad to hear that, Emi. You know I get worried when you get all wound up about, well, exams.
Certainly Emi's mother knows something I don't, or rather she doesn't know that Emi's told me about the nightmares. It's interesting being able to observe how Miss Ibarasaki covers for Emi, that protective instinct to make sure that I don't know any more than Emi's willing to tell me. I wonder if Miss Ibarasaki will figure out that I know about the nightmares, or is she just keeping everything secret from everybody?
Yeah, it's not been as bad as this year as in the past. He still helped me to stay focused.
Okay, I know that's not true. She even cut off contact outside of school hours during exam week. But she did see me during the day, and she told me more than once that the morning run was the only thing she looked forward during any 2 exams. So maybe it's not that much of a lie. Either way, to hear that being around has helped even a little makes me feel a bit better. Emi's mother raised an eyebrow at the statement. Either she doesn't believe Emi, or she's as surprised as I am.
Well, then it appears that it's a good thing for you two to become so close. I tell you to take good care of my daughter, Hisao, but it looks like you're already doing that.
Emi grins at this and seems to take pride in having managed to integrate myself with her mother so easily. Actually, I'd say your daughter's been the one taking care of me. She's got me out and running. I've probably been more active since meeting her than I ever was, even before. I'd actually never thought of it that much, nor have I ever appreciated the humor in it. I wasn't too active before the heart attack. Pickup games of soccer don't really count since they weren't that common. So now that I know for sure that I have a weak heart, now I run every day, pushing my luck with the help of my medication. I chuckle quietly, then realize that I've never finished my sentence. Well, before I had my heart attack, I wound up at school here. It comes out so casually. There was a time that I thought twice about talking about what was wrong with me at all. But now it just seems silly to care, especially in the company of Emi and her mother. If Emi can be cavalier about her disability, then so can I. I think back to the track meet where Emi declared herself the fastest thing on no legs. The fact of her obvious loss has never seemed to bother her, at least not in public. Being stuck in the wheelchair frustrated her, I know, but even that was something she dealt with on her own, despite my efforts to the contrary.
Emi has a way of bringing out the more active side in people. I've never quite figured out how she does it.
Those puppy dog eyes she gets, for starters.
I'm not surprised that she managed to rope you into an exercise routine. If Rin weren't just as summer as she is, I'm sure that Emi would have gotten her out and running with you too. Oh, that reminds me, Rin says hello. I drift to the outer edges of the conversation again as we move into the dining room to eat. It smells delicious in here, and the spread that Emi's mom has produced is impressive. Well, you've made enough to feed an army in here. Is it too much? Well, you can always take some leftovers when you have with you when you go.
That sounds great. I can only handle cafeteria food for so long. Something home-cooked would be a welcome change of pace.
What he said. Thanks, Mom.
The food tastes as good as it smells, and there's a lull in the conversation while we're all dig in. Emi assaults her plate with the usual amount of gusto, and I will admit that I set this pretty fast pace myself.
So, Isao, I hear that you and my daughter have gotten rather close,
The urge to say something like not really is so strong that I open my mouth to say it, but then reassert the control. We are close. There's no getting around it. I mean, Emi's brought me here, hasn't she? Fortunately, both Emi and her mother seem to take my reaction as a sign that I'm caught off guard rather than considering saying something cruel. Heh, I suppose we have. I blame the morning runs myself.
You make it sound like a bad thing, Isao.
Well, I, for one, found it a relief. Why's that?
Emi's always been a popular girl, but never made many close friends.
That's a bit of news to me. I always see Emi chatting with her classmates in the hallways. And certainly the whole track team seems to love her, but if it is true that she chooses to isolate herself during lunch with Rin and me, not exactly the sort of behavior one expects from a popular girl after all, then again, I've experienced her unwillingness to get close firsthand, so I can't say that I'm surprised.
I was beginning to have my doubts.
Emmy rolls her eyes to the ceiling and grumbles something I can't quite make out. Huh? What? What's that you just said? Nothing. Mrs. Ibarasaki chokes at her drink with laughter. You've been hanging out with the nurse too long, Emmy. I'm gonna have to talk to him about corrupting my daughter. Somehow I don't think that would be very effective. I learned most of it from you anyway, not the nurse. Don't listen to her, Isao. She's a born liar. Yeah, right. Oh, I don't know, Emmy. I think your mother has a point. What? You traitor. You're supposed to take my side in this. Yeah, but you did let your leg have to be— Ow! A kick in the shins from an unmistakably plastic foot cuts me off, but not before Mr. Barasaki's eyebrows shoot upwards. What about your leg? It wasn't a big deal, that's all. I was just in a wheelchair for a bit. The last few mumbled words are quickly deciphered by Emmy's mother. I suspect she has experience with this sort of thing, and a worried frown appears on her face. So that's why you kept dodging my calls. Oh, Emmy, I know how much you hate being in a wheelchair. No wonder you've been in such a mood lately. Yeah, she's much happier on her feet, so to speak. Well, of course, she spent enough time in a chair just after the accident. She didn't get prosthetics immediately? No, she had to finish healing up before they let her start the sort of therapy you got to go through to adjust to those things. Especially since she wanted to run on them. I had no idea. Yeah, it sucked. Oh, did you see Ren's mural at the festival? Emily suddenly changed the topic makes me realize belatedly that she's been fidgeting the whole time when her mother and I have been talking. Talking. I should have figured on her being a little skittish when it comes to talking about the accident, even around her mother. No, I didn't make it out to the festival, remember? Although I caught a glimpse of it at your track meet, it seemed pretty weird to me. I think that's more or less what she was going for. She talks a lot about being dreamlike, or trying to make it dreamlike. Ren's art is one of those things I don't think I'll ever understand. That's not surprising. I don't think Ren expects to be understood. She told me once that art allows people to understand stuff that they wouldn't understand otherwise. But all the same, she doesn't think it actually works that way. I'm surprised that Emmy's talking about this with Rin excessively enough to actually have Rin's opinion, such as it is. Although I expected that Rin could not, if she were so inclined, say the same thing about Emmy's. Unless, of course, Emmy is purposely keeping me in the dark about everything, which is likely, but unpleasant to think about. I drift down this unpleasant train of thought for a while, losing track of the conversation. Hey, Emmy, I've been meaning to ask. Huh? Are you going to visit your father this year? From the way she says it, you think Emmy's mother was talking about the weather. From the way Emmy reacts, it's clearly not the weather they're talking about. She flinches, a slight jerk of the head backwards as if she's been slapped in the face. Can we talk about this later? Her voice sounds brittle, strained, it looks as if she's been severely shaken by the question. It seems that Missy Barasaki misjudged just how close Emmy and I are. Some things it seems are best not conversed about with me around. Her father is one of those things. The accident that took her legs is probably another one of those things, if her reaction to the earlier conversation between her mother and myself is any indication. It doesn't take Emmy's mother long to realize she's screwed up. Of course we can, dear. I'm sorry to bring it up. I just wanted to ask her if I can make plans. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Emmy fidgets nervously as if embarrassed by her own reaction. I confess that her reaction is confusing. She only just mentioned her father to me earlier today, less than a few hours ago even. Why does a simple question about when she'll visit her father cause such a strong reaction? Unless whatever serenity she claimed to have reached by means of our talk the previous evening has suddenly evaporated. Or didn't help as much as she thought or claimed. I'll be right back. Gotta visit little girl's room. Emmy gets up suddenly and leaves the table, leaving me and Mrs. Ibarasaki alone. I'm a little conflicted. Should I go after her or should I stay here? It's obvious that Emmy's departure was not based on the call of nature. Something's bothering her and I have to know what it is. The only way to find out is to go to the source, and the source is currently pretending that she has to use the toilet. I excuse myself politely from the table and head that way, only to catch sight of Emmy not in the bathroom but in the kitchen just next to the living room. Emmy's left the door open, and as I approach, I can see that she's holding onto the table in an attempt to compose herself, an effort that fails as soon as I open my mouth. It doesn't look like nature's call was that urgent. Emmy jumps and glares at me. What are you doing here? I didn't come here to be with other people. I just wanted to help you. You look pretty rattled. I said it was nothing, didn't I? Besides, I thought we established that you can't help me. No, we've established that you were stubborn. Look who's talking, the guy who followed me. This is different. I want to help you with whatever this is. It's funny because I just want you to leave me alone. But why? Why can't you just trust me? You've been over this already, Hisao. I got to deal with this stuff on my own. I won't accept that. You need my help and you just won't take it. Oh, yep. Supper is getting ready. Alright. Almost there? Cool. Also, my phone just fell. Oh my gosh, my phone just fell twice. I'm like missing placing it on the thing. It's all good, Sybil. My wording seems to have been a little off. I need your help? Well, it's a good thing that we met, isn't it? Because otherwise I guess I'd just be a broken human being, wouldn't I? No, it's a damn good thing that Hisao came along to save the day, isn't it? Because God knows I can't save myself, can I? I'm just a poor emotionally damaged girl with no legs, right? I mean, no, I don't think that. Really? Because if you thought differently, then I don't think you'd be here saying I need your help. No, it's, they're calling for word. I've gotten pretty far in life as a normal human being without you. So what, nothing we've shared was important? I'm just the guy who hangs out with you? You're my boyfriend, Hisao, not my savior. Well, no, that much is obvious. You won't even consider that could be a help to you, will you? You'll just bottle it all up and hope that a run will solve your problems. Or you'll come visit me and we'll fool around until you feel better. That's being a healthy human being, I mean. That's not what a relationship means. Well, it's what it means to me right now, Hisao. I wish... She seems to reconsider her words just then. A flicker of pain, of doubt on her face. For a moment, I think she's about to cry. But the moment passes and now she's composed herself again. Whatever that wish was will have to go unspoken. Look, I can't do this right now. What, have a serious conversation? Be open, be honest? Give a damn about anyone else besides yourself and your problems? What do you know about my problems? Nothing. You don't know what I've been through, so don't pretend that you do. I know you have nightmares. I know your father's gone. What happened to him? Emmy's head jerks backwards as if I just slapped her. That brittle quality has gotten back into her voice. That's enough. This is stupid. This whole conversation has just been variations on Emmy stonewalling me. What, you won't even answer that question? Fine, keep your secrets. They can lie in the grave as far as I'm concerned. Emmy's eyes widen in shock. When she speaks again, it's a voice that is low and dangerous. Get out of my house, Hisao. The sudden change in her tone snaps me out of her self-righteous anger and makes me realize with a dawning horror what I've just said. That's an evil grin, that's for sure. Evil. Emmy, I didn't mean... I said go, Hisao. Tell my mother she cooked a wonderful meal, but you've forgotten a prior engagement, and get out of my house. She's trembling now, shaking with anger or sadness or determination. Her voice is still low, controlled, almost a growl. I reach out to put an arm on her shoulder to apologize for going too far, but she jerks away from my touch. Bye, Lorenz. Take it easy. Have a wonderful night. Have a good night. Get out. What can I do? I walk out to the kitchen and go to the living room, make my apology to Mrs. Ibarasaki, and let myself out. Pretty much, Bunny. I feel like we're on a bad ending or something. I feel like we've really fucked up. The morning alarm sounds and I roll over, switching it off. My eyes open blearily to the stare at the ceiling. What am I going to do? Do I get out of bed, go down to the track and pretend that nothing happened? Will Emmy even show up after last evening's events? I doubt it. Even supposing that she did, what would I do then? Get over this fight just to dance the same routine the next time something's bothering her? I know that I spoke hastily last evening, especially trying to use her father as leverage, but was anything I said really off the mark? She won't let me ever, and she'll always be able to force to suffer alone. Nothing I do, nothing I say is going to change that. She won't change, and she's already decided to keep me at arm's length. Can I really bring myself to go down there and see her, knowing that I'm never going to get past where I am now? No, I decide I really can't. Not today. I roll over and go back to sleep. She probably won't be there anyway. A similar mental conversation repeats itself when it comes time to go to lunch, and I eat in the cafeteria alone. I don't want to see her. The very thought makes me feel ill. That night, I go for a run. I'm solo for the first time since Emmy got sick after the track meet. Skip seeing the nurse just in case he asked about Emmy. I don't want to talk about her either. The next day I do the same thing. Alarm off, stay in bed, eat alone, run alone. To fill the time that I would usually be spending with Emmy, I start reading more. It worked surprisingly well until I find myself ducking to a restroom because I see her walking down the hall in between classes. If she noticed me, she didn't show it, even though I don't suppose she ever shows anything. Certainly not to the girls from her class I see talking cheerfully to her. I know exactly how Hisao feels. I do the same thing. I have done the same thing so many times. When you feel like you fucked up so badly that you just have to hide. There's a story that I can't say right now, mainly because of time constraints, because I have to get going like probably soon, but I want to say the story eventually. Or to her fellow track members, especially not to me. Alarm off, stay in bed. Rito and I have a lengthy talk about the possibility that string theory is plausible. I don't buy it myself. More than 4 dimensions I can buy, but a bunch of vibrating strings at the subatomic level? That's asking a bit much. Looks like I'm not the only one to think this way too. Apparently it's not really as strong of a theory as it once was. Muto says that it's just because nobody has found the right way of looking at the data yet. Eat alone. The rooftop is deserted today. I briefly wondered where Emmy and Rin are, but shrug off the question. The important thing is that they aren't here, so I won't have to talk to them. Since I have nobody to talk to, I bring a book with me to read. The weather's nicer. It's getting a little hot. Hopefully it'll be cooler in the evening. A cool breeze seems to back up my theory. Right alone. It is in fact cooler at the track. No sign of Emmy, which is exactly the sort of thing I'm going for. I stretch out and start on my usual run, trying hard to ignore the lack of a running partner in front of me. Finding my thoughts drifting damnably to the girlish laugh, incorrigible grin, those wide and friendly eyes, her incredible toned body. I increase the pace to clear my head, chew up the distance between me and the turns, find the speed that makes me think only of my legs and how much they burn. I glance at my watch as I round the final turn, noting that my time's gotten faster. My heart seems a little squirrely tonight, so I give myself a few extra cooldown laps just to be safe. No reason to bring this to the nurse's attention. I'll be fine. A rather Emmy-ish thought to have, I admit. I have to hope that eventually I'll stop thinking about her so much. I finished another book before going to bed that night. I'll have to stop by the library tomorrow. I don't know why I keep the early alarm on anymore, but it wakes me up the next morning just the same. I still turn it off and go back to sleep. That afternoon, as I get ready to head to the cafeteria for another solo lunch, I've got a new book about a couple of conmen in ancient Persia that I'm pretty excited about reading. I'm suddenly cornered by Misha and... I guess just Misha. Off to eat alone again, Hee-chan? We've noticed you now. We? Uh-huh, Shi-chan and I noticed you've been spending more time alone. She wanted me to find out why, so I told her I'd ask you. I'm surprised she didn't ask me herself. She would have, but she wanted to get a head start on some paperwork. There's a lot of it since we're coming up on the end of the term, you know. Why is sudden interest in my well-being anyway? Shi-chan said it is the duty of the student council to keep track of the emotional health of its students. To allow a constituent to spiral into depression unchecked would be an unforgivable failure in the council's duties. Well, that's easy then. I'm not depressed. But you're eating alone and nobody's seen you and Emmy together at all. Something happened, didn't Hee-chan? Misha's voice takes on a slightly sterner tone. Oh, hold on. Misha's voice takes on a slightly sterner tone, though somehow she keeps the familiar lilt at the end of her sentences. I peruse my lips, uncertain about how to respond. We gotta let Misha know. We gotta let somebody know. Well, I suppose somebody else knowing about my problem can't hurt. Heck, maybe Misha can even offer some advice. We had a fight at her house. I keep trying to get close to her and she won't let me get close, and I said something stupid and she threw me out. Have you talked to her since then? Misha looks genuinely concerned. I'm surprised, as I'd almost expected her to drop the subject after finding out what the trouble was. Even more surprising is how quickly I find myself spilling my guts to her. No, I haven't. I just can't bring myself to face her after that. I made a complete fool of myself, and she probably hates me now anyway, especially since I haven't seen her since then. You're pretty slow, Hee-chan. This doesn't sound like advice. Huh? Misha places her hands on her hip and launches into a speech that would sound more plausible coming from Shizune. The solution to your problem is simple. You have to go and apologize to her. Leaving things like this will just make things worse. You can't know that she hates you now unless she tells you. Otherwise, there's no evidence that what you fear is true. If you really care about her, shouldn't you be worried about how she's taking all this? With a sudden start, I realize that she's right. I've kept waking up to an early alarm because part of me wants to meet Emmy at the track for her runs. I kept running because I know that Emmy would worry about me if I didn't stay healthy. When I went on the roof yesterday, I was half hoping that she would be up there, and felt disappointed when she wasn't. I'm an idiot. Kinda, Hee-chan. So, go and apologize to her as soon as you can, okay? I open my mouth to say that I'll do it right away, but the lunch bell rings and I realize I still have afternoon classes to attend. First thing after class is over, I'll go see her. I promise. And thanks for the advice, I guess. Misha beams at me as if I were a child that had just learned his ABCs. Good, I'll let Shi-chan know that you're okay then. Yeah, you do that. With a wave and completely disregarding the fact that people are staring to trickle back into the classroom as opposed to out of it, Misha departs the classroom. I suppose she and Shizune have student council business again. I think I chose the right choice. With the afternoon wears on, I found myself impatient for the lessons to end. I need to see Emmy now. I have to try to set things right. Even if Emmy hates me now, I have to at least apologize. I owe her that much. Should I meet her in her room? No, I decided it would delay things too much. If I know Emmy, then I can find her at the track. Still have no idea what I'm going to say when I get there, but I'll take comfort in knowing that Emmy probably wouldn't have a plan for something like this either. Play it by ear. Stop being nervous and just get to the track. Figure the rest out when I get there. The track looms ahead, and another jolt of nerves hit me in the gut. I resist the urge to turn and walk away, and instead note with satisfaction that I was right and Emmy's still running. I don't make myself immediately known. I find a seat in the bleachers and watch her run instead, thinking back to earlier meetings. After a few trips around the track, Emmy notices me and skids to a halt, an expression of surprise that slides easily into one of anger. What are you doing here? Not quite the response I'd hoped for, but at this point, I don't have much of a choice. I wanted to apologize for what I said the other day. The other day? She laughs, a curt exclamation of disbelief. It's been almost a week, Hisao. Yeah, well, better late than never, right? Emmy crosses her arm and stares at me coolly, as if sizing me up. Finally, she nods. I suppose you're right. Water under the bridge, then. I forgive you. Is that all? Her almost impatient question catches me so off guard that she's already halfway down the track before I think to shout after her. No, wait! She doesn't seem to have heard me, or she doesn't want to hear me, and so I give chase, disregarding completely the fact that I'm not dressed for it. My feet hurt, and my shirt collar feels like a noose around my neck, but I still chase after her, because if I don't, I'll lose my chance. Emmy hasn't started to really accelerate yet, which is probably the only reason why I'm able to catch up to her, to reach out and tap her on the shoulder, just before my legs give up running in dress shoes and stumble to a stop. Surprisingly, fortunately, all that running seems to have paid off. I'm short of breath, yes, but at least my heart isn't actively trying to force its way out of my ribcage. My touch on her shoulder has stopped Emmy, and while there was a flash of concern when she sees me catching my breath, it seems that she has a good idea of what I'm capable of, too. The concern is short-lived. What? She seems so irritated by me being still there that I almost lose my nerve, but I'm lost my nerve enough. I need to explain myself, why I can't just let the matter rest. Emmy folds her arms and bounces one blade on the ground in an approximation of tapping her foot impatiently. Angry as she is, and as nervous as I am, she still looks beautiful. Okay, Hisao, explain. The thing is, I know that you're really sensitive about the accident about your dad. I can see Emmy's face twitch at the mention of those two things that have been steadily driving us apart, or at least made me feel like we're being driven apart. But that's why I want to know about them, I think. Because I see how much they hurt you, and I want to be there to comfort you. It makes me miserable seeing you're sleepless and depressed. And don't pretend you aren't, because I know, okay? I just remember that night when you fell asleep with me and had that nightmare, and that you were happy to have me there when you woke up. I want to be able to be there for you like with that whenever you need me to be. The stern face cracks slightly. Emmy interrupts before I can continue further. Just stop right there. We can't see each other anymore, okay? She's rushing now, looking everywhere but at me. I'm surprised she doesn't bolt. She knows I can't catch her. We're not right for one another. That's not true and you know it. No, it's true, you're too... I know that I've been pushy about knowing your past. And if you can't tell me yet, then at least let me be there even if I don't know the reason. It's okay, I promise. I won't ask where you need comfort. I'll just give it freely. Emmy's shaking her head and tears seem to be threatening the corners of her eyes. Stop saying that! Why, because you're afraid you'll take me up on it? I'm not afraid! I can't keep the chiding tone from my voice as I respond. Yes, you are. You told me so yourself, remember? That's okay, really it is. However, it seems to me that someone who'd managed to come out of the wreck and still be as energetic and cheerful as you would be determined enough to face that fear. Hisao, I think you're pushing the buttons here. I think you're pushing the buttons. Determination? What do you know about determination? I know that there's a girl so determined to take care of a total stranger that she'd steal his food at a festival. I know that there's a girl so determined to help me with my own problems that she'd draw up a complete dietary and exercise plan, and she'd not only draw up the plans, but she'd follow them with me even when she couldn't run. Determined enough to keep me at arm's length that she put herself through emotional pain if she thought it was the right thing to do. Although there's one thing that this determined girl didn't quite plan for, which is that I might feel that same kind of determination to keep her from being hurt. I fell in love with you, and I refuse to let that be thrown away because you're afraid of losing me. What little control Emmy still has at this point cracks, and I find myself suddenly enveloped in her embrace as she cries. Why are you doing this? Why can't you just leave me alone? I hold her close and plant a kiss on the top of her head. I'm sorry, Emmy. You helped me when I first arrived, so now I have to help you. It's only fair. You're utterly hopeless, did you know that? She hiccups and trembles a little. Funny, I could say the same about you. Can you do something for me, Hisao? Anything. Can you go now? It feels like she's just shoved a knife through my chest. Go? I need to think, okay? I can't just tell you everything yet. I'm still scared, and when you're around, I can't think clearly.
But do me another favor. What's that? Show up for our morning run tomorrow.
We're back! We're back! We are back! I smile, feeling better than I have all week. Of course, I wouldn't miss it for the world. Emmy steps back slowly, almost reluctantly. She sniffles a little and then grins at me. A real smile that lights up the track, overpowering the fading evening's light. See you tomorrow, Hisao. Okay. She darts forward suddenly, planting a soft kiss on my lips, then steps back shyly. Let us go! Let's go! We're still in the clear! Nope, I think we're in the clear, Punny. Spinning on her back foot, she takes off running again, and I know that our conversation's at an end. My lips tingle with the warmth of that brief kiss and the memories of other, longer kisses. I walk back to my room with a spring in my step. Tomorrow when my alarm goes off, I'll get up. Act 4? Let's go! Motion. I think we're getting that true ending. There we go. There we go. Update's still going, so good. Well, that was definitely interesting. That I thought we screwed up majorly as Hisao. I'm also surprised I read all of that with my sore throat. His family again. What up, Baba? How's it going? No, you're good, Punny. You're good. Like, my throat's still been killing me this entire time, and I just read through all of 428 Shibuya Scramble and Katawa Shoujo today. I don't think people realize as well, or at least my community may realize, how much I kind of put myself through to stream for you guys. Now that I think about it. Like how Hisao was putting in so much effort to be with Emmy and such in this route. And even like people like Emmy fighting back. I can relate that to how I put so much effort, even straining my voice and dealing with the sore throat right now. Just to give you guys some fun content and some adorable content right now. But that's going to be it for Katawa Shoujo for today. We still got one more stream tonight. It's going to be Hyrule Warriors, where they'll be pretty far late tonight, so probably about 10 Mountain Standard Time. I have to go get supper real quick because I'm late for that. But with that being said, I thank you guys so much for watching Katawa Shoujo. I hope you guys did enjoy, and have a wonderful day, night, morning, afternoon, and or evening. My name's Katafi. I'll see you guys next time for more Variety Gaming. See you guys later. Peace. Bye, everybody.